Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 4 of the Detention Docket. Hi, people in court. How are you? Um, I am in my kitchen making dinner, and I just wanted to share this with you guys and keep going on this lovely detention docket that we have. So, this hails from 2020. This one is on May 26th of 2020. And we've got about an um hour of detention hearings for this one, and then we'll see how we do if episode 5 is in the works as well. But anyways, I'm so glad you're all here. I really appreciate each and every one of you and all the new subscribers. And without further ado, let's go back in time to Judge Kim and the mayhem that is the 323rd District Court of Tarrant County, Texas, and the Juvenile Division there. Here we go.
Can. For which child?
I think it's Jackson. That one. Yeah. But I think it was with Judge Porter. Told Judge he should stay in detention if he lets Judge down.
Oh, okay.
Gonna go on there?
Yes. All right, we're just waiting on the child. All right, Jaden Alford. Jaden Alford.
Office. Hello? Yes, I gotta call you back. I'm on a Zoom call. I'm on a Zoom.
I'm sorry to have left this in here, but this is some of the best stuff sometimes when we're waiting. And Judge does not like to wait. This is what we'll find. This was early on. Later on, he don't wait like this. We literally saw him fine detention staff for being late before, I remember. So hopefully we'll catch that coming up.
About 50%. It's about 50%. It's gone down. Yeah. It was over 80 last week.
It feels better in here.
So Bradley?
Judge Kim,
Yes.
we look for Alfred.
Yes.
He's on his way.
Okay. Are all the other children there?
Yes, they are.
Okay, let's just go with the next one then.
Alfred. Alfred, bring a chair. Come on.
Bradley. So what? Let's just, if he's not there, we'll just go to the next one. We have a lot of children today.
He's here.
Well, I mean,
He's here right now. He just got here. Come on, have a seat right in the laptop here. Right in front of the laptop, sir. Right in front of the laptop, sir. Scoot up.
I'm right.
all right, Mr. Alford, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention docket for the 323rd.
Round kid.
Okay, for the 323rd. And so, Mr. Alford,
Round kid.
could you please pay?
Huh? Hey, I'm not supposed to be right here right now.
Where? Are you Jaden Alford?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're just waiting on the parent.
You sit up there, man, so I can hear you.
All right, Mr. Alford, I'm Judge Kim. This is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court. When a child is brought to our detention facility, you have to see a judge within 2 business days, and I have to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. Mr. Alford, is something more important than what I'm saying to you?
No, sir.
Why do you keep on looking back?
It's just noise back there.
So it's more important than what I'm saying to you?
No.
Okay. So you have to see a judge within 2 business days of coming into custody. If I keep you in custody, you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make the same decision. Also want to let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, Ms. McGonigal, you're here.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Alford. Let's see, 15 years old. You were originally brought in. You're 12 years old. You're brought in for a runaway. A month later, you're brought in for a runaway again. Then you're still 12 years old. You're brought in for aggravated robbery, which the case was rejected. Then you turn 13, and then you have an evading arrest from the police on foot. You were let out, and then you ran away from home again a week later. 3 months later, you run away again. And so now, let's see, back in February, you were referred for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. All right, so you threatened your mom with a knife. When police got there, you're outside leaning against the car. They ID'd you because the police had just seen you and said you didn't like how your parents were disciplining you, and you made an emergency phone call. So you called again, said your mom used a belt to discipline you. And you told your mom she's not about to whoop you. And then you went in the kitchen and got some knives to threaten your mom. Other people restrained you. You started damaging property.
Can I speak?
All right, and so hold on. The week before, you were referred for criminal trespass because you refused to leave the school when the school told you to go because you were sleeping in the classroom. All right, so on March 4th, we released you on electronic monitor and community-based detention. And then on May 22nd, you cut off your monitor and left without permission. And we give you a drug test and you're turned negative. You're set for adjudication disposition on June 11th. All right. Mom, is there a reason why you cut off this monitor?
Dad, you have to ask Jaden.
Okay. Well,
I myself, I was trying to, I was telling Jaden to do his chores, and he was on the game, playing the game or whatever, and whenever he was coming out, I was still talking to him, so he was coming towards me, but he was trying to go out to turn off the lights and go do his chores, but I pulled the door up a little bit, and I did hit him with the door, not intentionally, and I did.
Mom, I'm not talking about that. I'm just concerned about him cutting off his electronic monitor.
Okay, well, he did not want to obey, and he did not want to do his chores, so he got upset, and he ran outside, put a hole in the door, and he pulled it off.
All right, so.
Really? You just go.
Mr. Alford.
Okay, cool.
I released you for you to be on the electronic monitor, so I know where you are because of the seriousness of the offense and your history of runaway, and you just ran away again. So obviously I can't keep you in the community while you're running away like this. I'm ordering you detained.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Amari and Allison.
Can I speak?
No, there's nothing. I've made my mind. I've already made my decision.
All right.
Don't forget your chair.
Just put your chair up to them. Come on up, Allison. Allison. All right. You have a seat right there.
All right, Mr. Ellison, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing.
Yes, sir.
Child is brought to our detention facility. The law says you have to see a judge within 2 days after make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. However, if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so is it Sharika Allison?
Yes.
Okay, I see a request for a court-appointed attorney. So you are working 36 hours a week. Omarion is not receiving any kind of need-based government assistance, correct? Medicaid, Medicare, food stamps, CHIP, anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. And it's just the two of you living there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who's the gentleman with you?
His dad.
His dad? Okay, y'all are separated, I guess, or not together, correct? Okay, well, I'm glad you're both here. All right, so Ms. Allison, I'm going to find you're unable to afford an attorney. I will go ahead and appoint Mr. Pearson to be your son's attorney. Hello, Mr. Pearson, how are you?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay. Marianne, so last night about midnight, or no, yesterday morning about midnight,
Yes, sir.
North PD saw a car driving without headlights. They pulled the car over, approached the vehicle. They could smell weed. You were cooperative, admitted you had weed in your pocket, found a baggie with substance resembling marijuana. While searching the vehicle, they found a loaded 9mm pistol. All right, Mr. Victorson, why didn't we give him a UA when he came in?
Well, we did, Your Honor. I asked for one to be done this morning because it was an unauthorized use of unlawful carrying of a weapon. That's not a normal procedure. So I asked him to do a drug test this morning, but I didn't get it into the report beforehand. He was
Okay.
positive for marijuana this morning.
Only marijuana then?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, I guess the question is, Mom, Dad, whose car was he driving? Do we know?
His car.
His car. All right. So he has his own car. All right. So, what's going on? Tell me about him smoking weed. I mean, y'all know about it, and y'all encouraging him not to, or y'all don't care, or
Encourage him not to.
encourage him not to. All right. Now, what about the gun? Do we know anything about the gun? Marianne, I don't want to hear from you. This is just from Mom and Dad.
Yes, sir.
This is a total surprise to me.
Both of them.
All right. So, does he have a job? Is that why he can afford a car?
No, he doesn't have a job.
Oh, where'd the car come from?
I bought him a car a year ago so he can get back and forth to school
Okay.
and he plays sports.
Okay. See, my concern, Mom and Dad, is that I have a big thing about kids with guns, and I think y'all do too. I think we all do as a community. Here's my problem: is if I knew it was like your gun that he took, I knew where the gun came from, right? And that makes things a lot easier for me because I don't have to worry about the community. The fact that we don't know where the gun came from, that's what gives me concern. That's what worries me because if I let him go, he can just get another gun again, all right? So, Mom and Dad, tell me where are we now? You're both here. I think you're co-parenting, which is great. I appreciate that. But going forward with information that we have, where are we going now?
No car. Car is gone. That's it.
Mom, are you on board with that?
Definitely.
Okay, definitely. All right. So he's got no car. He doesn't have school, obviously. He doesn't have a job. So I guess there's no place for him to be going to, correct?
Well, I have been telling him he had to get a job the last couple weeks.
Okay. But instead, he's driving around, well, allegedly driving around smoking pot with a loaded gun. Right.
Your Honor,
Not
if
the
I
kind,
may.
not the kind of job you were looking for, Mom. Yes, Mr. Vickerson.
If you are considering release, Your Honor, I would recommend community-based detention for this case.
Mom, what kind of grades was he getting in school last semester?
All A's actually.
Yeah, straight A's. It's just, I mean, I don't know. Since school been out, I mean, you know, like I say, I'm not around, you know, we co-parenting, but, you know, he's just finding other stuff to do. I mean, usually he plays sports, but I think it's just the car that we really need to just grab, and that kind of like shut off a lot of stuff that, you know, he's been getting into, and, you know, just, you know, try a different route.
And so here's one of my concerns. He's not going to school. He doesn't have a job. He's driving around in a car. He's getting money for weed, getting money to buy guns off the streets. You see, I mean, this is what I see is there's a much bigger problem going on, right? Now he's an A student, plays sports, so I guess he doesn't skip school that much. It seems like everything I see, he really hasn't had problems. He's been doing well with his community-based detention. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. He was not. That's a different kid.
I gave the
So-
car this morning.
I'm sorry?
He will never have that car again. I gave the car away this morning.
Well,
Um,
never is a very strong word. I believe as parents, we always need to adjust for the child. As the child's growing, we give more responsibility. As a child undermines our trust, then we need to take away privileges, right? I mean, that's just part of being a parent. Who does he hang out with, Mom?
who does he hang out with?
Yes.
His cousin.
Okay. His
Yes.
cousin get in trouble with the law?
No.
All right, Mr. Victorson, we're still with coronavirus. We're not doing the full community-based detention, though, correct?
No, that's correct, Your Honor. They're doing phone visits and video call visits, but they are doing curfew checks that way.
Mom, what was he out doing at midnight on Saturday night?
I work overnight.
Oh, so,
He has a curfew, but I work overnight. So if he come home, he'll be going to my dad's house every night on my way to work. But my only concern is he has some major health issues.
I understand. Well, Mom, let me ask you this. I really like you and Dad, all right? So my question is going to be, at this point, it seems like he's a good kid that made a mistake. Is this just a one-time, like, not thinking, not do? Is that the issue here, or are there bigger issues?
No,
That's the issue?
I'm very surprised.
All right. All right. What I can do is I can go ahead and release him. Mr. Richardson, I'm going to stay away from the community-based detention on this one. Just seems like he doesn't have underlying issues that need that supervision. I think it's mostly just going to be him while the cat's away that he was trying to play. And so, but let me know, keep track of this one. If we need to change it to CBD, then I'm okay with it. I just don't see the need right now.
Yes, sir.
I can put you on electronic monitor. We're going to do this for about 30 days. All right, Mr. Allison?
Yes,
And I'm
sir.
just going to see how it works out. And if it turns out that you're not violating, don't have any problems, I don't mind taking it off. But I'm giving you a chance on this one, all right? Don't let me down. More importantly than that, don't let your parents down.
Yes, sir.
All right, they've got places to be. They don't want to be here this morning, but they're here because of you. You know, a good kid will make their parents' lives easier, not more difficult. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ellison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard?
Victor Alvarado.
We're gonna have some paperwork.
inmate, strap him. If you have any questions, stick with Dana, he can answer them. Special schedules or some needs for church or whatever, they can take care of. Okay?
All right, Mr. Alvarado, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I am reviewing your case to see if I should release you or to keep you in custody. All right, so this started, you're 14 years old, assault bodily injury, you got supervisory caution. And then you turned 15, you had evading arrest on foot, which you had DPP, probably a stolen car, and evading arrest with a vehicle. All that you got DPP for. Burglary of a habitation, 2 counts of burglary of habitation, which was supervisory caution by the DA. Wait, no. October 11th, you have evading on foot, theft of property $750 to $2,500, theft of property $2,500 to $30,000, evading arrest with a vehicle, a burglary of a habitation, unauthorized use motor vehicle, a burglary of a habitation. That's all on October 11th of 18. But the DA supervisory cautioned that one. November of 19, there's a burglary of a vehicle and a burglary of a habitation, which you got placed on probation for on January of this year, in a possession of weed. Okay, so now we're here. On March 28th, about 6 o'clock, there was a shooting. Police arrived at the scene. They found an unresponsive male who had been shot in the chest. The shooter had left the scene, but the witnesses gave a suspect vehicle description. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. So witness indicated that she heard a boom, a female screaming. They described the vehicle, and then they got surveillance video. Another witness said that this all started the day before when the witness and the victim saw a group of people playing basketball, so they went to play, but they left. The park is across the street from the shooting. On that day, same group of people returned, shot the victim in the chest with a BB gun. And they recognized the person who shot the victim in their address. So, when he and the victim were walking back to the house, the same vehicle stopped in front of the house. There's a verbal confrontation between him and the victim in the truck. Before they could get him into the house, they heard a pop. The victim grabbed his chest, say, ouch. He went to the house and collapsed in the kitchen. Provided a description. There were multiple people in the truck. And they looked at the video. Police went to the address provided by the witness, matched the description. After an interview, one of the suspects indicated that Victor drove to the location where the shooting occurred and saw Victor with a gun in his hand. Give you a drug test and you're positive for weed back in April, and you've been here ever since then. All right, so you're on probation for felony burglary of a habitation, and then now you are here on a murder charge. So, all right, so Mr. Alvarado, I see that you're level 1O, but I'm deeply concerned about the safety of the community, all right? You're on probation for a serious felony, and now you're here with what looks like a murder charge where somebody has died. You're using a gun. I'm not comfortable about the safety of yourself as well as the community, so I'm going to go ahead and order you detained. All right, Rafael Bonilla.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Davis.
And Frank is covering for Amy.
Okay, good. All right, Mr. Bonilla, this is a detention hearing. I need to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make that same decision. Also want to let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. You have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. All right, so Mr. Bonilla, you are 16 years old. You have no prior contacts with this court. Let's see. On May 14th, there's a victim that made an outcry about Rafael. So, Ms. Guerrero, are you here?
Yes, Judge.
How old is the victim?
13. And after running the report, Judge, the other offense came in on the brother.
Okay.
It was submitted by the police department.
All right, thank
So
you.
there's 2.
Okay. No parent here?
His aunt was going to be on Zoom, Judge, and I don't see her name. It's
Okay.
Iris is her name.
All right, and this is, what's the relation? Is this sister?
The victim,
Cousin.
one of the female victim is cousin, and the male victim is his younger brother.
So, all right, Raphael, at this point, the factors I need to consider on whether to keep you or release you, a lot of it has to do with showing for court. It also has to do with the safety of the community as well as safety of yourself. All right. So I need to be very cautious about releasing you. This is not necessarily a case where I have to keep you here, but I have to be very careful about what environment I'm releasing you to. Okay. Without your parent or anybody here to talk to about this, I'm not comfortable. So I do need to keep you here for now. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. So, but your attorney can certainly talk to the parents and figure out if there's an environment. I know your attorney well. He can come up to me and talk to me, and we can figure something out. So I'm not hard set on keeping you here. What I'm concerned about is making sure that if I release you, everyone is safe. Okay? All right. Thank you. Angel Estrada. All right, Mr. Adler, you're covering for Miss Mills?
Yes, Your Honor.
You want me to pay you or pay her?
Pay her, please.
I haven't heard that one before. Who should he pay? I'm going to pause it for just one moment because
All right, Mr. Estrada, I'm Judge Kim. This is a
Judge
detention.
Kim, be quiet. I'm talking. Because first of all, thank you so much to my friends that are in the chat and everyone that's here. Time served, Credence and Bishop, everybody that is giving support. I really appreciate it. But just for the added tea, we have to remember, keep in mind this was originally aired May 26, 2020, so long time ago in reality. But what we have to remember is that Judge Kim is an elected official, and Frank Adler down here at the bottom is somebody who ran against him in an election to be a judge in this district. So there's a little bit of animosity there. This is prior to that, but it was always on the back burner. So hi Natalie, hi Valentino, Legal Fiction, People in Court was here earlier. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's continue on and see what else happens in the rest of this detention hearing. And I'm making burgers tonight. That's what I just got the order for. You saw me talking. This is actually my kitchen, so that's what happens. All right, let's watch the rest of this.
Hearing. I need to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make that same decision. I'll let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so Mr. Estrada, you're 15. Started when you were 14 years old with evading arrest on foot and an unauthorized use of motor vehicle. A week later, came back for possession of controlled substance, which you got probation for. You turned 15 last year. You got possession of controlled substance or unauthorized use of motor vehicle, which you're on probation for. You had problems. We had to issue a warrant for you. Then in January, arrested and brought in here for unauthorized use of motor vehicle, theft of property from 2,500 to 30,000, theft of property from 750 to 2,500. Wait, we had the car, we let you out, and then 4 days later you get picked up for another stolen car. And then a violation court order in February. So, okay, so we let you out. You took off your EM in April, your electronic monitor in April, and you snuck out the window. Your parents found you a couple days ago, pinned you down until the police showed up. And you're positive for weed. All right, so Angel, here's the deal. You have these pending cases. We let you out because you're supposed to show up for court, but when you cut off your electronic monitor and run away, that tells me I cannot trust you. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and order you detained.
Yes.
Thank you. Benito Gutierrez. Oh, I did this with an attorney? Oh. Yeah, I thought I saw his name earlier. So. All right, so Mr. Gutierrez.
Now this Howard.
Yes, I need Benito Gutierrez.
Go back and see it.
Okay.
You were supposed to go at 8:30 this morning. I don't know.
What are we waiting for? Judge Kim was so impatient by the end. Anyways, I'm sorry to hear that time served. I'm pretty expensive on
I almost
things.
want to set, like, have them have all the kids ready at 10:15.
I don't know why they're not all seated somewhere. You know? It doesn't make sense.
Oh, this might be when he's actually determining how to make it efficient, actually. That's probably what's happening. He's like, oh, I want to set it so they're all ready.
When Jesus comes back, we'll have to tell him.
What's Bradley's last name? All right, Mr. Gaywood.
Yes.
All right, this one was out of order. I mean, it's not your fault that he wasn't ready, but just out of curiosity, how far away are the kids? Like, what takes so long to get them here?
I went ahead and leave him out of class. I did not bring him. He was on the court docket this morning.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Mr. Gutierrez, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I need to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. You've been here for 10 days, so every 10 days we get to check on you and make that same decision. I'll let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so now this is the one, Benito. Yeah, no priors to this department. You're just turned 14 years old. Back in April, I guess you were still 13 at the time, there was a guy on an ice cream bicycle on 21st Street. He was being followed by two Hispanic juveniles. The victim said one of them told him to give him his money, pulled up his shirt, removed a handgun from the front of the pants. So the victim gave the money, then he was hit on the head with the butt of the handgun. And then there's a witness who saw this. They identified Benito and Daniel. And so, because they saw the robbery, they were brought before a judge for questioning. Benito confessed to part of it. They got his gun from a friend, gave it to Daniel. Daniel confessed, saying he had the gun and hit the victim in the head, taking the money from the victim. All right. So, Mr. Gutierrez, my biggest concern is children with guns. All right. And so, especially when they use the guns in an offense. Right? So, this is the most serious offense. We are literally a quarter of an inch from this being a capital murder case. If you're afraid to decide to pull the trigger, if this is all true. So, I'm going to go ahead.
And Judge, I will note for the court that in fact it was a BB gun that is alleged to have been used.
Okay. So, I guess the worst it could have been is ag assault, serious bodily injury. That makes me feel a little bit better. Let me see that. Oh, here it is.
Burgers and fries, Monica. Thanks for being here. You guys are making my night absolutely fabulous.
Ms. Aguirre, when is this set? Do we know?
Honor, we're scheduled to go before Judge Terry at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and keep you in custody for now. Is it set? Do we have Mr. Newman? Do we have an agreement?
Yes, Judge. So I appeared in court from 8:30 this morning. Obviously, with the new procedures that we've had to undertake, it's a little difficult to get all the paperwork signed. So I cleared it with Judge Terry and the prosecutor that we'd be back around 2 o'clock this afternoon. As soon as I'm done with my detention hearings, I'll head up to detention and have the paperwork executed.
Great. So I think, Mr. Gutierrez, that seems like it's good news. It seems like there's a deal worked out. And I don't know what the deal is, but, you know, if you're going to go home, you're going to go home today. If you're not, then you're not. But either way, I'm going to detain you until at least 2 o'clock, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Now we have Jamil Howard.
That's Jamarian.
Oh. Right. Okay. All right, Mr. Howard, Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I need to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or release you, right? And if you keep you, then every 10 days you have to see a judge again to make the same decision. I'll let you know that you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. Go back to number 2. I will let you know your attorney strongly urges you not to say anything at all. Okay, I will ask her before I talk to you, but she has encouraged you not to say anything. Is that correct, Ms. Johnson?
That is correct.
All right. So, all right, Mr. Howard, you were the one that you were having problems in CPS placement, so I had you come in and sit in on detention docket. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, and the point of that was for you to see what happens when kids make poor decisions. So currently you're level 3 confined in our detention facility, and the foster care system has no placement for you. So back earlier this month, we issued a warrant for you because you cut off your EM and you were listed as a runaway. Forest Hill found you, brought you back here to Kimbo because you were brought in on March 2nd and you cut off your monitor on March 12th. And this is referring, the actual offense is from February. There's a report that a student had threatened to shoot his father and the staff at the high school. The foster father said that Jermaine was upset about the meeting, threatened to get a gun and bring it back to the school to air that bitch out. And then your foster dad expressed concern, and so they started searching for you. They found you and brought you here. All right, so Mr. Howard, I gave you the opportunity on electronic monitor to let you out, and so we knew where you were, but you chose to cut off that monitor, go on your own. So you're basically expressing to me that I cannot trust you in the community.
This time I didn't come. My mom talk this.
Hold on. Your attorney doesn't want you to talk. All right, which is fine. I don't want to put yourself in a spot. Okay. Now here's the thing. It's either the monitor was cut off or it wasn't cut off. Either where you were where you were supposed to be, or you weren't where you were supposed to be. It's really that simple. I'm also going to let you know that you're level 3 confined. So if you can't follow the rules here at Kimbo, I know you can't follow the rules at home or at the foster placement or wherever you go. All right, you've created enough problems with your behavior and your decisions to create a situation that nobody feels like they can take responsibility for you. And there's nobody's fault but yours. So as long as you keep on doing your own thing, making your decisions, not following any rules, then ultimately there is a place for children like that in the state of Texas, and that's either here at the Juvenile Detention Facility or at TJJD. I need to make sure that you understand that, is you could be going to TJJD. All right, you could be going to long-term placement, Iowa or North Dakota or somewhere where you go there for 6 to 9 months at a time, so we can give you counseling and treatment and help you make good decisions so that you don't cause these problems as you get older. All right, it's really up to you. If you want to follow the rules, life doesn't get much easier. If you want to forget the rules and do it your way, life's going to be very difficult. And it's not just you; it's like that for every kid in America. Okay, we all have to follow the rules. I have rules to follow. Okay,
Yes,
so I'm already detained. I'm not even considering releasing you as long as you're level 3. I need to make sure you understand. I really probably won't even release you if you're level 2. I need a level 1 outstanding from you to really consider this and give thought about if you can follow the rules or not. Prove to me that I can trust you.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, just I will try and set up another camera, a food angle camera. Just so you know, though, there will be a lot of kitchen cleaning videos as well as kitchen cooking videos. So that's why it's called kitchen court cases, not cooking court cases, unfortunately. But I just wanted to take a moment in case anybody doesn't know, but Judge Kim has a level system that is set up in their detention center. So the levels are level 1, 2, and 3, and then they have O for outstanding, A for acceptable, and then there's unacceptable and confined. So, yeah, that's what he's talking about. So when somebody's level 3 confined, that means that they are like the worst level of behavior, also confined to their room. So, yeah. Anyways, let's continue on. I appreciate all your guys' ideas and comments in the chat. I love that. I appreciate any feedback. You can see I am on the West Coast. It is beautiful outside today still. It is gorgeous. I have my door open and just for anybody coming now, I'm making burgers and fries for dinner, so that's what we'll be eating. And yeah, I would love to get another camera going for the food area. It is this kitchen is almost set up perfectly for that, so maybe that's on the horizon. But anyways, let's continue on, see what else Judge Kim is going. I'm gonna just take down the docket notes basically because I forgot to keep taking them. So now they just don't make any sense. Which is not really fair. So I just change those up a little bit and then we can continue on. Kitchen are level 1 outstanding. See, I so appreciate it. I feel level 1 outstanding 100% today. I've been dancing in my kitchen all day long. Anyways, let's finish watching this and thank you again, guys, so much. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm having a blast.
Roy Jackson. All right, Mr. Jackson, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child is brought to our detention facility, the law says you have to see a judge within 2 business days, and I have to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make the same decision. I'll let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, Mr. Jackson, you're 15 years old. This all started, see, you had just turned 14 when there's a burglary of a vehicle and a theft of a firearm, which you got probation for. Then a month later, you ran away. And a month later, you're picked up for criminal mischief. Then now you're on probation, and 3 months after that, we are here because back on February 4th, you were placed on 1 year's probation for theft of a firearm. You completed 30 days of electronic monitoring and 1 cycle of community-based detention. Then in July of 19, we received a referral. Oh, the theft of firearm was last February. Okay.
Yes.
So July 31st, a referral for robbery from April of 19. We extended your probation out to give you more services. And then March of this year, you were positive for marijuana and benzodiazepines. So we issued a warrant for you just because you're not following the terms of your probation. Your mom's reporting that you're being disrespectful, disobedient, and aggressive with your siblings. Mom gave you a home drug test, which was positive for weed. You admitted to using weed and having people deliver weed to your house. Mom takes away your electronics, you steal them back, and use the Wi-Fi to communicate with your drug dealers. So there's a recommendation that you do a long-term placement. All right. So, Mr. Jackson, I want to spell this one out for you, okay? What we have now is you are on probation for a felony level offense. Okay? That means you can be committed to TJJD. Do you know what TJJD is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's prison for kids, right?
Yes, sir.
Now you can do what's called an indeterminate sentence. That means I don't sentence you for a number of years or anything like that. I just send you to TJJD and they give you the services or whatever they think is appropriate. They tell me, say, Mr. Jackson's doing fine now. He needs to be released to the community, and they release you back to the community, to your mom's house. Unless you act a fool over there, you don't participate, you don't do what you're supposed to do, then they keep you all the way up to your 19th birthday. There is no set amount of time. You could be there. You could show up on the first day and they can say, you know what, Mr. Jackson doesn't belong here. We're sending him home today. I can't control that. They make that decision. But they can also say, he's not learning. We're going to keep him here. And it is, you turn 17, 18, all the way to your 19th birthday. I can't order you to come back sooner. They make that decision. So you can go to TJJD on what's called an indeterminate sentence. Now that is my last resort. I do not want to send kids to TJJD. I do send them regularly to TJJD. I do not want to. So the first step is really to give them probation, give them a chance. Now, if they have problems because they're making poor decisions, they're not going to follow the rules, they're not behaving, then the next step after that is not TJJD. We look at a placement, all right? And that's where we're at now. We're looking at a long-term placement, someplace that's going to be 6 to 9 months. Places like Iowa, I think Utah has one, Missouri. They're all over the country. And you go there for 6 to 9 months, and you can show if you can behave and follow the rules and get treatment, so you can make better decisions and be contributing to our society. Or if you can't, then you come back, and then we start looking at TJJD. So I want to let you know now that I'm going to detain you, all right, because you're not following the rules on probation. We are going to start a placement search to see where we can put you for 6 to 9 months to see if you can get the treatment that you need, so you can start behaving and following the rules of society. If you go there and you get unsuccessfully discharged, I'm going to let you know the next natural option is TJJD. So if you're asking for a last chance before TJJD, long-term placement is it. Okay. If you go there and cause problems, you are basically telling me that you want to go to TJ. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you have a question for me?
No, sir.
Okay. So your behavior level is important because the placement facilities that are looking to take you will ask about your behavior level. They'll ask about everything going on here, and they'll make that decision. If no place is willing to take you, then my natural option is going to be just go straight to TJJD. You understand that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So we can go ahead and I guess Ms. Lacefield? Where's Ms. Lacefield?
Is it about him?
Oh, she's not here. Oh, who's the probation officer for this child?
Burns, a placement search was requested on April 22nd, but I have not gotten any answer back yet.
Okay, so we've already started the placement search.
Yes.
Good. All right. Well, we've started the progress, and let's do what's best for you, Mr. Jackson. Make good decisions. Good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions. All right. You made some bad decisions already. All right. Let's turn those into opportunities to make good decisions. Make some good decisions, and good things will happen. I promise you that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Edgar Leos. You can see on the screen with his yellow box. That's where the audio is coming from.
Okay, so I'm trying to put up a poll, but I don't know how to do that yet. So we're going to do it like this. If you think Judge Kim looks better with facial hair, I want a 1 in the chat. If you think he looks better with...
All right, Mr. Leos, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child...
Sorry, he interrupts me sometimes. I want a 1 in the chat if Judge Kim looks better clean shaven. 2 in the chat if he looks better with the goatee or beard, which I know you guys have seen. Also, Natalie, I'm dying laughing. I was trying to figure out what on earth you were talking about. I was like, thank you very much for sharing. I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm glad that that is fixed now. Yeah, I don't know how to put up a poll yet. See, you don't really need to know much just to get streaming. They make it very easy. But yes, so ones coming in. So everyone likes him clean shaven. The bow tie is 100. Oh, Monica, bringing it out different, and Valentino too. I love his bow tie look. It is a vibe, 100% a vibe from him. We haven't heard Tap the Brakes yet, and I'm dying to hear it. Anyways, I'm gonna learn how to do a proper poll within the next, day, I promise. But right now I'm glad for you guys to have done that. Let's finish watching and see. Oh, this lady's got a folder walking in, by the way. That's serious.
Was brought to our facility. You have to see a judge within 2 business days and I have to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make the same decision. I want to let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so you just turned 16 on Saturday, I guess. Okay, so parents don't speak English?
Oh, Your Honor. They
Okay.
do.
Edgar, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, good. All right, so Mr. Adler, you're the attorney here now. If you want, Mr. Adler, I can put you in a breakout room immediately after, and you can explain what happened to the parents. Is that good with
Sure.
you? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Edgar, you have no prior contacts with this department. Let's see, on May 23rd, so I guess that's Saturday, officers were, Saturday. Officers were patrolling an area known for narcotics. They saw a vehicle about 10 o'clock driving without its headlights, tried to stop the vehicle, but the vehicle sped. After a long chase with speeds up to 102 miles an hour, the vehicle stopped, and there was weed found on the adult companion, Michael Mendez. All right. Let's see. Ms. Aguirre, why is he level 3 confined?
Your Honor, the notes reveal that he did not want to wake up this morning. So they documented as resident-initiated separation.
Good. All right. So here's the deal, Mr. Leos. I think no one got hurt. I think it was a poor decision. You're here. You have the consequences to face. This is simply about whether to release you or not. I'm not going to release you while you're level 3 confined. Okay? There's obviously something going on here. You're not following the rules. You're not following order. You're not respecting authority. That's what I need to see from you. So I need you to get to level 1 outstanding, and then I'm going to release you on electronic monitor. Okay? Mr. Adler, can you ask the parents why he was out at 10 o'clock at night with Mr. Mendez?
Sure. Buenos días. Soy el abogado de su hijo. El juez quiere saber por qué su hijo estaba afuera en la noche a las 10.
Estaba afuera porque salió con su amigo Michael.
He was out, Your Honor, because he was out with his friend Michael. Do you want me to ask them if they knew?
Yeah, do they know who Michael is?
Dos cosas. ¿Ustedes conocen a Michael y tenía permiso de estar afuera?
Sí.
Las dos cosas?
Sí, las dos cosas.
They do know Michael, and he did have permission to be out.
Okay. Whose car was Edgar in? Whose car was Edgar in?
¿De quién era el auto?
De Michael.
Oh, it was Michael's car.
Does Edgar have a driver's license?
Él tiene la licencia de manejar. ¿De manejar?
No.
All
No.
right. Edgar, look, this can be, I mean, you don't have any priors to this department. This really, I'm considering the fact that this just could be a couple of really bad decisions that escalated into a situation that's horrible, okay? But what bothers me is you're here level 3 confined, that you refuse to do what they say. You refuse to stop for the police. You refuse to follow the instructions from our detention officers. Give me the confidence, give me a reason to think that if I let you go, that you're not going to cause problems. Get to level 1-0 and I'll go ahead and release you on we'll do community-based detention, okay? But if you can't be a level 1-0 here, then you're going to go home and cause problems there. You see where I'm coming from, Edgar? This is simply about, hey, look, you're 16 years old, all right? Be 16 years old. No one's asking you to be 18 or 20 or 40, okay? We're asking you to be 16, which means sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you make bad decisions, but at 16, you still have to respect authority. You're still a child by the law. You understand? Show me the respect for authority, and that gives me confidence to let you go. If you're not going to respect authority, that means I cannot let you go because you will cause problems again. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Edgar.
Thank you.
Wesley Smith. All right, Mr. Smith, I'm Judge Kim. We're here for a detention hearing. When a child is brought into our detention facility, you have to see a judge within 2 business days, and I have to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, The law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make the same decision. I want to let you know that you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything that you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Also, finally, you have the right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so Mr. Smith, you have no priors with this department. You're 15 years old. And let's see, on Saturday, the deputies responded to a disturbance at the Clear Fork Academy, which is a substance abuse treatment facility. When they got there, police met with an adult victim, a staff member who said Wesley, a client, had been in a separate classroom because of behavioral issues. He said he was leaving the classroom area, standing up, trying to walk out. The victim told you that the police would be called if you continue to aggressively disrupt and try to guide you back to the seat. They said you struck the staff member on the left side of his face, causing pain, and the other staff restrained you until the deputies arrived. All right, so this is mom and dad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are y'all still together or are you separated?
No, sir. Perfectly together.
Okay, good. It's a fair question, right?
Sir, yes, sir.
All right, so I'm pleased that you went ahead and checked him into a residential facility. Seems like y'all are proactive. Can I ask what his substance abuse problems are?
Marijuana
Marijuana? Just marijuana?
that we know of. There's probably been some other stuff that we can't prove. He would answer that. He may answer that better than me.
Okay. Have y'all given him a hair follicle test?
We've given him many tests. We drug test him very regular when he's at home.
But a hair follicle test?
No, sir.
No.
Okay. That will go back up to 6 months and it'll tell you what's in there. He's got a full head of hair there. But just go to a lab and they will take a sample and you'll know what he's used over the last 6 months or up to, depending on the test. All right. So that's just kind of a parent to parent advice for you that you may want to choose to do. All right. So, well, all right. Let me give you my spiel. Mom and dad, I'm not convinced. I have not seen any study that shows that treatment works for marijuana use. Okay. I've looked for all the studies. I can't find it. The best possible treatment is a dual-based treatment, counseling-based, and you're looking at a sobriety rate of around 30%, 28 to 30% after 1 year, okay? So generally speaking, using marijuana is a choice. It's not a physical addiction, okay? And that's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So Wesley, I'm letting you know, in my opinion, is just choosing to use marijuana. It's not necessarily an addiction. Now, that's not to say substance treatment residential facilities do teach better decision-making. There's different components to it that can help. But I would just want to let you know, don't put your hopes too high. Marijuana is not like cocaine or other street drugs, okay? Now, my bigger concern here is knowing that y'all are frustrated with him and you check Wesley into a residential facility and he's causing problems there. And now, you know, even to the point not only being disruptive, but also being physically aggressive. Mom, Dad, where do we go from here?
Well, we don't know. I mean, we will be glad to take him home and hopefully his behavior will be better.
Mm-hmm.
Our concerns is a little bit, he has two younger brothers. Hasn't shown a great propensity for violence around our house, quite honestly.
Okay.
And this is my opinion, Judge. It wasn't so much a drug problem as it was an attitude problem that seemed to intermingle with each other for whatever reason. And not only that, but the things he would do that would put us in danger and even neighbors in danger to get the marijuana.
Sure. So let me ask you this then. Have you gotten him to a counselor or a psychologist or psychiatrist for any mental health needs?
Yes.
Okay. Is he on prescription for any of that?
No, sir.
No diagnoses?
No, sir.
Okay.
What they've told us is they can't diagnose him while he's using.
And he won't stop using, so you can't get a diagnosis.
Right. And we have been to several counselors. None of them have really worked. We did go through the drug court program here.
Sure.
And that ended about 3 months ago. And Chris Bell was his PO. And that was, I thought, helpful. We had the family preservation program and a counselor through that.
Hold on a second. So, Mr. Lewis, are you here? Hi, Mr. Lewis. Okay, so Mom just said they were the drug court program here, but I don't see any prior contacts. Can you give me some clarity on this one?
Yes, sir. When he successfully completed, or when a client successfully completes the drug court program, his records are sealed.
Okay, there we go. That's why I don't see it. All right. And Mom, that was for marijuana also?
Yes, and
Okay.
we think he probably uses the other acid.
Now, hold on. That just ended right in the middle. That's not what was supposed to happen. He was using
in
acid,
Glenville that
and that's
lost
it?
everything after a fire damaged.
Well, I have the next episode ready to go. Let me just see here. Also, you guys are making me laugh a lot with all your talk about food and Ginger. Thank you. I almost forgot the cheese, so I really appreciate you reminding me of that. I have the next Judge Kim episode already queued up, ready to go. So, although I'm just gonna, oh no, it was the 27th. Yeah, that's right. I do have it queued up, ready to go. Okay, guys. And again, I don't know how to do polls yet. I'm still figuring it out, but I really like having all your feedback. You guys are great. So, let's see here. Oh yeah. Turn it back on. No. There we go. Now we should be going. We have a whole, this is a new day, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to the rest of that day, but this is a new day. And we have some of our favorites here, as I can see. So, oh, Latif is down here in the bottom. Latif Adeniji. And, oh, it's Judge Porter. Let's see. Thanks.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Judge Porter. I will let everyone know that because of the Texas Supreme Court's order, the courthouse is closed to the general public. However, in keeping with the spirit of the open court's provision of the Texas Constitution, these hearings are being broadcast live on YouTube. It's my understanding that it is voice only this morning for these hearings. Anybody who might be listening, rebroadcasting or recording of these hearings is expressly forbidden. Violation of this order will subject the recorder or rebroadcaster to civil and or criminal contempt proceedings. Mr. Cummings, how are you?
Good.
All right. This is a detention hearing to determine whether you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. My name is Judge Porter. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention and Ms. Perkins' attention. That way, I'll create a private internet chat room for y'all to talk about what you want to say. She can advise you on whether or not you.
It's my favorite thing to hear him say private internet chat room. And I'm sorry, there's like timers going and all this stuff, but private internet chat room. Every time he says it, I die. Anyways, let's continue, Judge Porter.
You really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Perkins, and Ms. Perkins, please forgive me if I call you Ms. Keenan. Old habits die hard.
It's okay, Judge.
Now, Jimmy is awaiting transfer to Mahia. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. And I know Mr. Dotson, do we have an estimated time for him to be transferred to Mahia?
No, Your Honor, we don't have an estimated time, but Ms. Batten said that she's trying to get it done as soon as possible. We got some forms for mom to fill out, and that should expedite things.
Okay, and how long will it take us to fill out and complete those forms?
I spoke with his mom this morning. We're going to have a conversation after this hearing to determine what time she can come in and fill out these forms. Hopefully today.
Okay. Is mom here?
I gave her the link. I don't know. I don't see her. Yep.
Let's see. Oh, yes, she's here. I saw her earlier. Give me just a second. Ms. Johnson, I know you're here. I saw you earlier. There she is.
Hello.
Okay, there she is. That's her voice.
Hey, I can't see her.
Hold on just a second, Jimmy. I'm trying to get her to start her video feed.
I only see my Aunt Blackie on there.
Hold on, Jimmy, just a second.
I think she's up there now.
There she is. All right. Miss Anderson, are you going to be able to visit with Mr. Dotson this afternoon?
Yes, sir. I'm going to try to get to him as quick as possible this afternoon.
Okay. It's real important that we get all those forms signed. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jimmy, is there something you wanted to say to your mom?
No, not right now.
Okay. Have you been able to call her at night?
Yes, sir.
All right. Will you make sure you keep doing that for me, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Based on the information before me, Jimmy, I'm going to order that you be detained, okay?
All right.
All right. Perkins, do you have anything else?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Miss Anderson, thank you for helping us out, okay?
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right. If y'all need anything, y'all let me know, okay?
Thank you.
Not that I know of. I don't know. Oh, hold up.
Yeah, it's a mixture of both. I don't know. I don't know. But there is. I'm not sure how far back, because I want to say that was elementary school, and I don't know if it's current. And it may be the IDD is more current. I don't know. I'm working on memory. So, all right. Okay. Now, okay, there's Miss Thomas. And is Miss Barrows here? Miss Barrows, are you here on the line? I don't remember seeing her.
Judge, this is Frank. I can cover for her if you need me to.
I'm in Canada, guys. I'm in BC, Canada. So I don't think that Judge Porter will catch me. Although I did get married in Texas, but I'm from Canada, so I think I'm safe for now from his warnings. But some of us streamers might not actually be allowed to go on the court crawl if we ever went on that. Anyways, I am very far west. I am as west as you can get on Vancouver Island in beautiful British Columbia. And As you can see, it's still beautiful light out and green, and the cherry blossoms are blooming on my street outside. So it is an absolutely gorgeous place to be. I'm very, very lucky. And I'm really lucky to have all of you here with me. Now, I want another poll. Oh, your son lives in Vancouver, Natalie? That's awesome. Vancouver's like such a big city to me. I'm an island girl. But here's my next verbal poll, which is going to be, which do you prefer? Judge Porter, number 1, or Judge Kim, number 2? Judge Porter, number 1, Judge Kim, number 2. What do we think? Oh man, Grim, you're sort of right. And yeah, it is very light right now. It's a lovely evening. It is the beginning of spring. My birthday is coming up this week, and I'm very excited. And yeah, let's hear about it. 1 or 2. 1 for Porter, 2 for Judge Kim. Number 1 for Judge Porter, 2 for Judge Kim. In the chat, let's see what you've got. Yeah, to be honest with you, I think I can't. I think Judge Porter is a better overall judge. But for drama, Judge Kim 100%. Absolutely dramatic. Like, I originally was going to go through all these videos by myself and find the sort of amazing parts of them. But then I realized, I was like, the fun that we had during this era of court life was being together while we watched them and seeing everything unfold together, which is why I just decided to do it as a series. But I know some of you are going to remember there's parents flipping tables. There's arrests being made of adults and children alike. There is just everything you could imagine. And I also am really excited to measure the intro warning that Judge Kim gives because, it started out just standard and then it added every time somebody did something stupid, he added that to the intro. So I'm excited to see it grow. And thank you very much, Laura. I am gonna get it playing again. The fries are almost done. The burger is almost done. The special mayo that my daughter likes me to make her is almost done. And my salad is almost made. So let's get watching, guys.
Okay. Ms. Thomas,
Yes, Your Honor.
is Mr. Dominguez here? Do you see him?
He is not, Your Honor. We do not have a kid. We submitted a progress report on May 8th to you and requesting a DTA on him. He's been gone since April 15th. And your response was that you wanted to set it for a judicial review hearing with an out-of-custody detention hearing. So
Yes, ma'am.
put it on the docket today. Mom is supposed to be here. I don't know if she's. But we don't.
The mom is here.
Okay, good.
Okay. Mom,
Yes.
where is Mr. Dominguez?
Well, he's from France to France, sleeping out. I've heard that he sleeps in vehicles. Sometimes we've moved from the house that we were at, but it has broken windows. So he does go sometimes back into that house and sleeps there. But I know he's just out in the streets. He has me blocked from his phone and stuff like that, so I can't communicate with him.
And he's not trying to communicate with you either?
No, sir.
All right. Mr. Boneberg, what says the state?
Well, Judge, until we have a juvenile, let's see, right now, I'm sorry, I'm just catching up on the procedural history here. There is a current DTA or no?
There is not. I set it for a status conference to try and give him a chance.
Okay, we would ask for an issue of a DTA then for this.
All right, Mr. Adler, thank you for agreeing to fill in for Ms. Barrows. You heard what was going on, and what is your response on behalf of the respondent as both his attorney and guardian ad litem today?
Your Honor, I'll let Ms. Burrows know everything that transpired this morning, and when the young man gets picked up and brought to detention, I'll make sure she has a conversation with Mom on how to proceed.
All right. Mom, do you have Ms. Barrows' phone number?
No, I don't know who that is.
Okay, that is his attorney,
Okay.
but you have a way to get in touch with Ms. Thomas?
Yes, I've been always contact with Miss Thomas. I've let her know all the times, like when everything happens. And I do have a missing report on, or a runaway report on him also when he ran away and stuff like that. But yes, I've been in contact with Miss Thomas this whole time.
All right, Ms. Thomas, can you provide Mom with Ms. Barrows' contact information?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be great. All right, at this time, the court will issue a directive to apprehend. And so, Ms. Thomas, once that paperwork is submitted, I'll sign it this afternoon.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, that'll be the order of the court. Thank you, Mr. Adler.
You're welcome, Judge.
No closer, I little closer. Looks like you're doing your schoolwork.
Bet I can't see myself, so I wouldn't know how to do it.
All right, are you Mr. Gwynn?
Yes, sir.
All right, pull your chair a little closer to the computer for me. My name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to have this hearing recorded. You also have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there is something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention. That'll also get your attorney's attention. And your attorney, Ms. Barrows, is here. Let me find her real quick. I know there's Ms. Barrows. Oops. All right. Okay, can you see Ms. Barrows on the screen?
I just see you.
Okay. I want you to use the cursor and put your cursor in the middle of the right side of the screen for me. And then a blue arrow will pop up, and I want you to click on that blue arrow. And then you should be able to see Ms. Barrows.
It's connecting. You're doing it, right?
Have you found her yet?
Say connecting. It still say connecting. No, it's to connecting. I don't know what the rest of it say connecting. So.
Okay, I want you to use your cursor and move the cursor to the right side of the screen in the middle of the right edge of the screen, and a blue and white arrow will pop up. Do you see that yet?
I already clicked on it. And it gave me a response to say, it says, I still see you, and this one says connecting, and then I can't see the rest of the sentence.
Okay, a new group of pictures should pop up when you click on that blue and white arrow. Did that happen?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll try clicking on the blue and white arrow again.
Go left now? Make it go to the left side
No,
now?
I want you to go to the right. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there she go.
Okay, you see Ms. Barrows now?
And then it went back to you.
Okay, do you see Ms. Barrows? Mr. Gwynn, pay attention. Do you see Ms. Barrows?
She's not on the screen. That's what I'm like, she's not on the screen. I had did it, but then it went back to you. For some reason, I ain't even clicked nothing.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not right.
Do it again and by Ms. Barrows.
This is not working. Then it's okay. It might stay. Okay, it's working now.
Okay, you see Ms. Barrows?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again, if there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention. I will create a private internet chat room for you, Ms. Barrows, to talk about what you want to say. Talk about it briefly. That way she can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Anything you say during this hearing cannot be used against you at an adjudication or disposition hearing, but it might be used against you in a future detention hearing. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez. What brings Mr. Gwynn to court today?
Tydra was referred in custody for UCW. He was in the back seat of a car during a traffic stop. Officers smelled marijuana in the car, so they conducted a search. Under the seat where Tydra was sitting was a Glock 17 9mm, and it was stolen at a Reno. His juvenile companion, also in the back seat, was also arrested for the same thing. There was a total of 3 handguns located under the back seat, and there was one inside of the front passenger glove box. The driver was a documented Crip gang member, and officers also located an empty alcoholic container and marijuana residue in the black floorboard of the car. Tydra does have history with the department. He was on probation for UCW that just ended March 13th of this year. And he has some other previous referrals as well. And he did test positive for marijuana today.
All right. Ms. Barrows, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, we would ask that he be released to his parent who is present at the courthouse and to be on an electronic monitor and be supervised 24/7 by his family members.
Okay, and let's see. Are you Ms. Ware? Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's going on? He just got off probation. He's got a new UCW charge, test positive for marijuana, has a new handgun, allegedly. What's up with all that?
I'm just, because we were doing good. I guess it's just the crowd that he's hanging with.
Okay. Do you know where he's getting his guns?
No, sir.
He's not getting them from you, is he?
No, sir.
Do you know? Hold on, Mr. Gwynn. Do you know where he's getting the marijuana?
No, sir.
He's not getting it from you, is he?
No, sir.
Okay.
I also have to say, it was an ongoing running joke about where they're getting the marijuana, and I felt like the judges were looking for a hookup. They'd be like, no, but where did we get the marijuana? Because maybe they can't get any, I don't know. But they were always really, really serious about that. I'm so glad to see all of you here. This is the best night of my whole week so far. And it's my birthday this week, so that's saying a lot. I really appreciate y'all being here. Is that a real background behind Mr. Daniels, Raymond Daniels here? Like, I can't tell. I think it actually is a real bookcase back there. Now, here we go.
All right. First, I find that there is probable cause to believe that you did engage in delinquent conduct. Secondly, based on the information before me, kids and guns don't mix, especially when you've got a prior UCW. So you know what this is about. Mr. Gwynn, you tested positive for drugs and you had a new gun. You just got off probation barely 2 months ago. So what do you think I'm about to do?
You need to let me explain how it even went down. Because
you don't trust me. Ms. Barrows wants you to remain silent on what went down. Okay. I Am I wrong, Ms. Barrows? You want your client not to talk about how everything went down, right?
Correct, not in this detention hearing. This is only about you being detained.
Yeah. So don't say anything that might make things worse for you, because anything you say, while it can't be used against you at a future hearing or adjudication, you don't want to give the state any additional ammo or places to go look to find more dirt on you, right? Does that make sense?
Can I get that private chat real quick though? Like with the
What I'll do is I'm gonna make my decision, and then I'll let you, Ms. Barrows, go into that private chat and talk. But guns and kids don't mix. This ain't your first rodeo, so you need to get to level. Okay, Mr. Gwynn. Well, I was going to give him an opportunity to get to level 1-0, but I don't think I'm going to give him that opportunity. He's detained, and we'll consider everything again anew in 2 weeks. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you, Ms. Barrows. I'm sorry. Oh, it happens at least once a week. It's all about him. It's all about him. All right. Good morning, Ms. Johnson. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Ms. Johnson, can you pull your chair a little closer to the computer for me?
Like this?
You got it. Now I can hear you. All right. My name is Judge Porter. This is a hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to have this hearing recorded. You also have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there is something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. That'll let me know you want to say something. I'll create a private internet chat room for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way your attorney can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Do you understand that? Okay. Vicky Wiley here. I'm looking. There's Ms. Wiley. You're on a different screen. Can you unmute for me? All right. Ms. Johnson, do you see Ms. Wiley on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if there's something you want to say, wave your hand like that, and I'll create that chat room for you, okay? Before you just blurt it out. Well, wait just a second. We're not there yet. All right? Okay. So, Ms. Turner-Hill, what brings Ms. Johnson to court today? And is she on level 2 or level 3-0?
She's level 2 acceptable.
Okay.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. She appeared on May the 12th for an out of custody detention hearing. It was requested by the department that she appear to address her runaways. North Richland Hills PD reported that she goes by Noelle, has run away approximately 8 times in over 6 months, and they've considered her to be a high-risk runaway. According to just various runaway reports we received, she is allegedly engaging in inappropriate relationships with adult men, using drugs and/or alcohol while she's away from home. Her most recent runaway occurred on April the 19th. She left home without permission and was believed to be staying with a 24-year-old male. And she was found on May the 10th, and she was taken to the hospital and she was released to her mom. She's pending a referral that occurred on January the 23rd for assault causes bodily injury, and it was an assault against her mother. She does have prior contacts with our department. She was on deferred prosecution, probation at one point in time, and then the rest of her offenses have been supervisory caution by the department, including numerous runaways. She's scheduled for an adjudication disposition hearing on June the 11th. She did test positive for marijuana whenever she appeared for out of custody detention hearing. And if the court does consider releasing her, we just respectfully ask that you consider the electronic monitor.
All right. Let's see. Is this Ms. Griffin in the back?
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's her grandmother, and I guess that's her mother also.
Okay. What's going on? Talk to me.
Before she does, Judge, I need to say something. Does anybody remember a couple of weeks ago when I asked how many scoops of coffee you should put in the coffee machine? And I admitted that I had put 14 scoops in earlier based on something I read on the internet. I am way better at making coffee now, and I'm just laughing because somebody was like, no, that's way, way too many. I think we were in Manning's court. I really don't remember. Anyways, you guys are making me cry laughing here. Um, I'm making coffee. Anyways, okay, let's get back to it. I put 14 scoops in. I read on the internet somewhere and I did a calculation per cup and I made a big pot of coffee and it turned out to be 14. It was wrong, obviously, but anyways. Thank you guys so much. Hit that like button while you're here if you can. Please and thank you. You guys are the best. I know you would. But yeah, let's continue this on. And no, I have ADD, so I calm down when I have caffeine and stuff, so no.
She just won't stay at home and do the right thing. That's just it. And she'll come and stay a day or two, get her some rest, and then she gone. You don't know when she leave. You don't know where she is, and she's come home before. Like I told the judge once before, she came home. It was in a van with 3 men, and she come in the house, and these 2 guys come to the door, and I said, "What are you all gonna do like this? Like they gonna come in?" I said, "You better get off my porch." They started cussing and going out, called North Richland Hills Police, but they couldn't catch them. They didn't get around there in time enough to catch them. And this one guy who she said was 16, that boy is 20 something years old. And she had had that man come to my house. I said, he don't look like he's 16. Yeah, he's 16. I asked for his ID and he said, "Oh, I don't have any." But that man is 20 something years old. And she constantly keep running back out there, and bad things happening to her, doing the wrong thing. And at this point, I can't control her. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I just can't control her for a few days. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Then all of a sudden, boom, she gone. And she can go out the door. I'm going outside with Katie and her sister, and then she you don't know where she is. What? I'm gonna tell the truth. You don't know where she is. She just up and leave. And wait a minute, he asked me, she just up and leave. And I asked Katie, where she at? She gone. Nobody know where she gone. You don't see her for a week or 2, sometimes 3 weeks.
Miss Griffin, are you worried about her safety if she were released today?
I'm very much worried about her safety, sir. And that's the God in heaven truth. I am very much worried about her safety.
Ms. Wiley, what are your thoughts?
Well, Your Honor, my client denies the inappropriate relationships with men, for one thing. She had actually reached level 1 briefly this week, and now she's level 2 again. So I understand Grandma's thoughts. I think Mom may have something to say.
Well, I'll let you ask Mom some questions.
Okay. Would you state your full name for the court, please?
Nikita Janine Johnson.
You're going to have to speak up.
Nikita Janine Johnson.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Do you agree with what your mother said?
Yeah, she's been doing all that, but no, Alexandria has had 8 seizures since she's been in y'all facility. And right before she came, she had a seizure. That's how we found her. And she
had a seizure?
Yes, she had a seizure. She's done had 8 seizures back there on y'all unit. 8. And she needs to get into a neurologist. I mean, I understand that she does run away. She needs to be on an ankle monitor. I'm totally in agreement to that. She really do need to work on her attitude and the way she conducts herself. I really do understand that. But at this point, I'm worried about her health. You get what I'm saying?
She needs to get into a neurologist, and she really does need some consequences to what she has been doing, because she has been way out of line. Okay, I'm not taking up for her at all, but I'm concerned about her health at this point. Like, she really needs to be on house arrest. But the doctor called me last week, and they told me that once I get her back, I can get her into a neurologist, because we need to see why she's having so many seizures. It's done got to the point she's urinating and bowel movement on herself. I have seizures, so I know how bad it can be.
Does she take medicine for it?
No, every time we try to get her to the doctor, she would leave. Every time she would leave.
Miss Turner Hill?
One of those.
I talked to the nurse.
Oh yeah, one of them do. I'm sorry, I apologize. One of them is for seizures. I apologize. One of
So
them
she is taking a medicine for seizure.
Yeah, but I don't think it's working for her. Like, it's
Okay.
not.
Your Honor, I talked to the nurse last week. I'm not aware of 8 seizures. I just got reports about 2 seizures, but the nurse said that they're grand mal seizures, and she reported that they don't have any concerns, like if she stayed in detention. They don't feel like her health is at risk or that she needs to seek medical attention. They said as long.
Hold on, let me just interrupt you, Miss Turner Hill, for a second. Did she just say, I don't know about 8 seizures, but I know about 10? That's confusing. That's not any better. 10 comes after 8. Grandma had a lot to say there, by the way. Oh, you think the matching hair is cute, Tem served? That's hilarious. The other thing for people that have not been watching these for a long time to know is that the people in here that are, the ones that look like they're at work. So Mr. Nava, Mrs. Guerrero, Mrs. Turner Hill, these are all juvenile probation officers. So their job is to, work with these kids and try and keep them out of jail, to be honest. And so it's a tough position to be in, because the judge sometimes requires them to, rat them out, but they also want to be, a resource and a help to these kids. My dad actually used to do a job like this here in Canada, where he helped people, kids that were it's called an intensive supervision support. So kids that were released from juvie at a high risk to reoffend. So basically he would work with them, and a lot of it was about building trust so that they could come to you with something, as opposed to, just ratting on them every time. But the way this court works is that these juvenile probation officers are the ones that come and report on they're sort of a branch of the court. So anyways, let's get back to it and see what she's saying. It's a concern. There's another thing that we have to know about is that in this area in Texas, human trafficking is a problem that they saw, and there is a special project task force that was part of that. So sometimes you'll hear them allude to something. Whenever I catch it, I'll try and point it out, but there is times when they'll allude to a program that they're using, and it was for human trafficking victims. So anyways, yeah, it is hard to draw the line with kids sometimes to know. Oh, my crazy life. Thanks for coming. You guys, I so appreciate y'all being here looking at legal stuff. You have a dentist appointment. I feel for you, but I really, really appreciate y'all being here. So I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry. There's lots of this left. So I'll stop talking. We can get back to it. But I just wanted to dip in, let you guys know a little bit more, because I know a lot of you were there with us during 2020. And this is where we sort of forged our court gang, if you will. I think Judge Manning would consider it a gang. But, oh, Mr. Nava is great. He wants to believe a lot. He really does. Anyways, let's continue watching, see what happens. Thanks, guys.
As long as she continues to take her medication, which she does have in detention, that she's doing fine as far as health wise back in detention.
Okay, when can she see the doctor in addition to seeing the nurse?
They told me that I can bring her within a week, and I also have grandma seizures, and that is not a good feeling.
Okay, Ms. Turner Hill, when can Ms. Johnson next see the doctor in detention?
As far as the psychiatrist or
No, a medical doctor.
we don't have, there's not a medical doctor that contracts with detention. It's just the nursing staff.
Okay.
Your Honor.
The nurse stated that they're more like panic attacks that,
Oh, there's a huge difference between a panic attack and a grand mal seizure.
Sure is.
Huge difference.
Big difference.
Ms. Wiley, you were about to say something.
Yes.
Hold on, Ms. Johnson. Hold on.
I was going to say that if mom can get an appointment set, perhaps we could, if you're leaning towards leaving her in detention, perhaps it could be until the day of the doctor's appointment, and then mom can transport her to the doctor's appointment. And my client would like to talk to me.
Okay. Okay. Let me make my ruling, and then I'm going to create that chat room for y'all to talk. Okay, Ms. Johnson, first, if I were to release you, you would be a danger to yourself, or just a danger to yourself, because you've got a history of running away, and the circumstances surrounding the running away, I can't let you go, not in good faith. However, your health issues are something completely different, and I think it needs to be addressed by a doctor and not just a nurse, because if that medication's got to be adjusted or changed or whatever, unless it's a nurse practitioner who's authorized to write or change that prescription, it's got to be a doctor. So, Mom, I want you to schedule an appointment for Ms. Johnson, and then you are to call Ms. Turner Hill and give her that information. Okay?
You don't think that putting her on house arrest would be okay?
No, ma'am, not yet. No, that's not good enough. Because she'll cut. I firmly believe Ms. Johnson will cut that monitor and she's gone again. So I want you to make an appointment for Ms. Johnson to see the doctor. I want you to call Ms. Turner Hill with that information, and then Ms. Turner Hill will come to me and ask me at that, like the day before that appointment, to have Ms. Johnson released to you so that she can be transported by you on the date of her doctor's appointment, okay? All right, can you do that? All right, that's gonna be the order of the court.
House arrest, like, and I live in Houston, like, she
No,
has
ma'am.
down here. She don't know
No.
about me up there.
No, ma'am. House arrest will not work for Ms. Johnson. She's gonna break it, and she's gonna go. We both know that.
Yeah, I'm just worried about her health, sir. That's all.
And that's why you're gonna get the doctor's appointment for her.
Yeah, she just laid on the back there for like 20 minutes one time on you in y'all facility. Yes, she did.
And that's why you're going to get the doctor's appointment for her, so that we can address those medical issues, okay?
Yes, sir.
And then when you get that appointment, you're gonna call Ms. Turner Hill and give Ms. Turner Hill that information, okay?
I don't even know who that is.
That's Miss Turner Hill up there.
She is the intake officer assigned to your daughter's case.
I'll get her number before I leave.
Your Honor,
Yes.
grandmother's been dealing with all of this.
All right. Miss Griffin, do you have Miss Turner Hill's information?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Will you give that to your daughter?
Yeah, I give it to him.
Okay. So Miss Johnson, now you're gonna have Miss Turner Hill's contact information, right?
Yes, they should give it to me. Yes.
All right, we're square. All right, now, Ms. Johnson, let me create that chat room for you and Miss Wiley. Hold on.
Can I go?
Not yet. Grandma and Mom, y'all are free to go now. Give me just a second.
Love you, Noel.
Miss Wiley and Miss Johnson, please make your discussion quick because we've got to be able to get the next kid in the room, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all should be able to go in there now.
Is he gonna talk or can I talk? That's the question. Judge Porter is very kind and nice, and I really like the idea of sharing your guys' recipes. It reminds me of when I was a kid. I went to a Montessori school for a little while, and they had a recipe book that was made from the whole school. Like each family submitted their favorite recipe to the book, and then they they printed it out, and everyone got this recipe book. But it was really cool because it was each family's favorite thing. And I love following recipes, so we definitely should. I would love to hear your guys' faves, and then we can set that up. I'd love to. All right, Judge Porter. Let's see. He is way more caring than Judge Kim. Judge Kim is definitely more, I don't know, ego driven, but yeah, absolutely, Monica. Like, I'm in for sure. I love baking as well. I love baking bread and cookies. Oh yeah, and people in court, I agree. That's what took me so long before I started really recording anything, was because I was like, oh, scared of that, but I think they're busy.
And Miss Wiley, if you don't mind following up with either Miss Griffin or Miss Johnson to make sure that that medical appointment gets made. for younger Miss
Absolutely.
Johnson.
Yes, sir.
That is a serious condition that we need to get addressed and get on top of.
Agreed.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Bye.
Are you Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to have this hearing recorded. You also have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. Anything you say at this hearing cannot be used against you at an adjudication or disposition hearing, but it might be used against you at a future detention hearing. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, wave your hand like this.
Yes, sir.
That'll get my attention.
Okay, can I say something?
It'll also get your attorney's attention. And I will create a private internet chat room for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, your attorney is Mike Berger. He's got a blue shirt and dark hair and glasses. Do you see him on the screen? The name on it says iPhone. You see him?
Yeah, I see him. I see him.
All right. Hey. Mr. Crawl, what brings Mr. Jones to court today?
He's a companion from an earlier case on 5/26 at approximately 10 o'clock at night. Fort Worth PD made a stop on a vehicle. The vehicle failed to signal 100 feet prior to turning. When the officers approached, smelled marijuana, giving them probable cause. There's 5 individuals in the black Nissan. The search of the vehicle, they found 4 handguns, 3 in the back seat. Mr. Jones was listed as being in the back right corner of the car. Under that seat, they found a 9mm Taurus, which was in reasonable reach of him. There was 2 other handguns in the back of the car. So he was referred for UCW. The driver of the car was listed as a known gang member in the gang database. He has prior history with us. He just completed probation on the 10th of this month for felony offense. I believe it was ag robbery. Yeah, it was also on for a misdemeanor terroristic threat. They were running concurrent. And then he tested positive for marijuana and methamphetamines.
All right, Mr. Berger, what are your thoughts?
Judge, I just got appointed on this case this morning. If I could have 2 minutes with my client.
Okay, I'll give you a minute.
Okay.
Because we have 13 hearings today.
Gotcha.
Judge Porter, don't play.
All right, Mr. Jones, go down to the bottom of your screen and you should have a pop-up menu that starts, and go to either more or breakout rooms, and it should allow you to go into the client counseling room. Do you see that, Mr. Jones?
Yeah, he doing it for me.
All right. Make it quick. Mr. Kroll, does Mr.
Yes, sir.
Jones have a parent or guardian here today?
Yes, Mom is here.
I
She's
see,
waving,
Mom.
she's waving.
Okay. I'll wait for Mr. Berger to get back online before we talk to you, Mom, okay?
Okay.
And is it Miss McHenry?
Yes.
Okay.
Should I need to stand up?
Oh, no, you're fine.
Sign that. Not that I'm prejudging. What?
Hey, Judge Porter, I'm back.
All right. So, Mr. Berger, what are your thoughts?
Judge, you've already heard the facts. My client is saying that he was unaware that there were guns in the vehicle, and certainly there are 5 people and 4 guns. So one of them, but at this time he's requesting that he be allowed to go home on a monitor. I don't know what his mother's position on that is.
All right. Ms. McHenry, what's your position on whether or not Mr. Jones should come home?
He could come home. Bryce left yesterday. He wasn't with the guys that he left with. I don't know what happened, but he can come home definitely on a monitor.
All right. Anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Jones, first, I find that there's probable cause to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct based on the information before me. The fact that you came in, tested positive for drugs, that you're hanging out with known gang members, and that there are not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 guns in the car gives me great pause. This ain't your first rodeo. So what do you think I'm about to do?
Yes, sir. I really feel like you're going to detain me.
You're correct. All right. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Hey, Mama, can you come see me?
Yeah.
All right, I need to talk to you.
All right. Mr. Adeniji, are you ready? And Mr. Neva. Okay. Are you Roderick Jones?
Yes, sir.
All right, pull your chair a little closer to the computer for me. All right, my name's Judge Porter. You have the right to remain silent, not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, wave your hand like this. That'll let me know you want to say something. I'll create a private internet chat room for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way, Mr. Adeniji can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, do you see Lateef on the screen? Waving his hand?
Which one is he?
You see him?
Oh, I see him. Yeah, I see him.
Okay. You also have the right to have this hearing recorded, and if you want that, your attorney, Mr. Adeniji, will let me know. Mr. Neva, first, is Mr. Jones level 1A or 1O in the back?
He is a 1A today.
All right, and what brings him to court?
Today's his second 10-day detention hearing for the offense of murder. On 27th of April, he was brought in after a warrant was signed on the 27th. After the warrant was executed, according to the report, on the 5th of April, approximately around 8 in the morning, Arlington were dispatched to the family's residence regarding a shooting in progress. When they arrived on the scene, they met with two victims. Andre Petty opened the door and explained that he woke up to a loud noise, and that's when he heard Lucas's mother pleading with him not to shoot her, and he heard the sound of gunfire. When he left the room, Lucas pointed a revolver handgun at him and fired at him, but missed. He reported that Lucas pulled the trigger a second time, but the weapon was out of ammo. Lucas then left the residence with a friend who is Roderick that was spending the night. Police were continuing to investigate and learned that Lucas' mother had been shot in the torso and that her boyfriend, Chris, was shot in the head. Chris was pronounced dead at the scene. Detectives arrived. They met with Lucas and Mr. Petty. There is a typo there. It says Perry, but should be Petty. When he interviewed with Lucas, Lucas cooperated and explained that he and Roderick had planned out this the day before and that Roderick wanted to hit a lick. Roderick planned to kill Chris, and he wanted Lucas to kill his own mother and Mr. Petty. Explained that Chris has two guns in the home and that the boys hid them while they were playing video games that week or the day before. And Lucas admitted that he waited until his mother approached and he pointed the revolver at her and shot her 2 to 3 times. Then he pointed the revolver at Mr. Petty, which is a room to the side, and missed. And then him and Roderick left the home, and then it was caught on surveillance, them leaving the home, and it shows who appears to be Lucas handing the weapons to who appears to be Roderick, and there's audio that resembles, doesn't really resemble, but there's audio capture that says, "Shit, give me the guns," right before it appears to show Lucas handing Roderick the weapons. And the petition has been filed.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr. Neva.
Sorry. Petition was filed as of today. ADA Williams just let me know, and the psychological report did come back last Friday. I can speak on the recommendations, or if the attorneys want to handle that.
I'll let the attorneys handle that. Mr. Adeniji, talk to me. What are your thoughts?
Requesting if my client can be released to go home with electronic monitoring.
Okay. Does he have a parent or guardian here?
Yes. Mom is present.
Are you Miss Lewis?
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Hold on. My microphone. Wait, didn't he just say he shot the mom? I would have swore that's what he said. That he waited and then shot the mom. Well, this is the mom right here. Oh, maybe I misheard that. This is a serious case, but okay. Maybe we'll figure it out. I don't know. Also, second cup of coffee. And that makes me look more calm.
Miss Lewis,
Yes.
you understand why I'm concerned, right?
Yes, sir, I do. But I really
want my baby home. I know, this very serious, but I never been away from my child, never this long. And I really, due to what's going on, I really want my baby to come home. I'm sorry for the situation, but just please have mercy on my child.
Can you explain, can I ask the mom some questions?
Certainly.
Can you assure the court about what kind of supervision can be provided in the home to ensure that he doesn't go where he's not supposed to go?
Yes.
When he's not supposed to.
I don't go anywhere. I'm there. He's gonna be right there with me. You will not have no problem with him at all. I promise you that. You will have no problem with Roderick. Normally, Roderick is a home buyer. He normally be at home. But that day, I guess he went with the little boy, spent the night, because they normally, my other kids mostly spent the night at her house as well, and it was no problem. I don't know, what took place, but I really want my baby home. I promise you, y'all would not have no problem with Roger.
Anything else, Mr. Adeniji?
Nothing else, Judge.
All right. Based on the information before me, I find that there is evidence to suggest that a firearm or other weapon was used in the commission of the alleged offense, and accordingly, I find that the child may be a danger to himself or others. And so on that basis, I'm going to order that he continue to be detained, and that's going to be the order of the court. I'm sorry, Mom.
Thank you, Judge.
I'll meet you in the lobby, Mom.
All right.
Maybe it was her mom that he shot, because that was his mom.
Mr. Daniel, I believe you're up next. And Ms. Rodriguez, I know you're here. There you are. Oops, sorry.
Judge, I believe my client's under 14.
Oh, we got a driver. We got a driver down here, Leslie Barrows, just so y'all are aware. I am processing that. I'll go back and watch it again later, but he shot somebody in the stomach. And did you say he killed the boyfriend? He shot the mom and her boyfriend. Yeah. Oh, he killed the boyfriend, shot the mom in the torso. But I swear to God, that's the mom there. I don't know how many days this kid's been in, but yeah, her torso did look fine. And honestly, Ginger, I think sometimes people are like, sometimes the parents come out and they are overtly mean in a way. Like you can tell they're trying to say things to keep their child locked up. Then there's the parents who are like struggling with it and they want to say they want to say it's the bad kids. It wasn't him. He's not a bad kid. He hung out with the wrong crowd, but they can't lie. And then there's the parents that come in and they are in denial, absolute denial. And it doesn't really matter if it's a flesh wound or not, because the child accessed a weapon, laid in wait for somebody, and then tried to commit an assault with it. Like, that to me is just red flags all over the time. Anyways, yeah. Oh, by the way, we are the wrong crowd, guys. Just so you know. Anyways, let's continue on. Oh, last thing. I don't know when Judge Porter figures it out, but it is not Mr. Nava. It's Mr. Nava. And it kills me how he says it.
Let me check.
He's 13.
Yes.
Okay. Then this is an out of custody, and we will.
Yeah.
We're gonna move that to the very end.
Okay. And Judge, can I ask, is he there?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, very good.
Okay. So, Ms. Rodriguez, if you would let them know not to bring him in yet, and we will circle back at the end.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that to my attention.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So let's bring in Mr. Perez. And I know Mr. Adler is here. There he is. Are you Mr. Perez?
Yes, sir.
All right, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent, not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention. That will also get your attorney, Mr. Adler's attention. Do you see Mr. Adler on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will create a private internet chat room just for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Lopez,
Yes, sir.
what brings Mr. Perez back to court?
Your Honor, AB has been in detention since February 17 when he turned himself in for a directive for cutting off his monitor. He was adjudicated in January. And while he was in detention for that offense, we received some out of custodies for aggravated robbery. His name was brought up, or he's allegedly accused of being involved in at least, I believe, 3 or 4 robberies, and Aldi included, where there was a weapon used, a knife, and he's been there ever since. We are set for court on June 6th, Your Honor.
What's his level in the back?
1-0, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Adler, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, he has been on level 1-0 pretty much the entire time, I think. The mom usually shows up with the dad, so it is a 2-parent household. Mr. Boneberg and I have been talking about this case, kind of going back and forth with possible numbers, but nothing set in stone. I just ask that he be released to his mom under strict house arrest until we either go to trial or we do an adjudication dispo.
Do you have a parent or guardian here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mom is there, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm looking. Okay, there's mom. So, am I correct? He's pending 4 counts of aggravated robbery and 1 motion to modify. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Judge, may I speak up?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to clarify, the detention report says level 2 outstanding, but I thought I heard he's level 1. Is that correct now?
No, he is on level 2. I was about to correct it. Over the weekend, he had an incident with another peer close to a physical altercation. So he was confined. So he's working his way up to level 1. But he is 2 outstanding, Your Honor. My mistake.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Judge, then I take back everything I just said.
Mr. Perez, you've gotten to meet Judge Kim, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
What are his rules?
Stay level 1. Don't get no physical altercations.
What happened?
I got no physical altercation.
So what am I supposed to do?
Detain me.
All right, that'll be the order of the court.
Thanks, Judge. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. Hey.
How you doing?
No, Mr. Adeniji, you may not yawn. It's contagious.
Oh, man.
Okay. No, Mrs. Guerrero is here. There she is. Okay. Are you Mr. Petty?
Yes, sir.
All right, pull your chair close to the computer. There we go. My name's Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not just yell it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention. That'll get your attorney's attention, Mr. Adeniji, and I will create a private internet chat room for the two of you to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Do you see Lateef on the screen? All right. You also have the right to have this hearing recorded. If you want that, Mr. Adeniji will let me know. All right, Ms. Guerrero, what brings Mr. Petty back to court?
Yes, Judge, this is a 10-day detention hearing. He was admitted into our facility on January the 19th. He was brought in for an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That referral states that basically he showed up at an apartment complex. The victim confronted him. He was there to fight someone else, but this victim confronted him. They did see that they had weapons on their waistband, and when they were leaving, they shot fires from the vehicle. They stuck out the window and they shot some fires. But yesterday, I also received some additional referrals from Northwood Twin Hills. I received a theft of property, credit card abuse, and burglary of a vehicle ×2. This all allegedly happened in August of last year, where several vehicles were broken into, credit cards were taken, driver's license were taken. Several of the homeowners had surveillance camera. One victim, however, told the officers that her credit card was used at a Jack in the Box. Officers did get the security footage from that Jack in the Box. A Honda Civic was stolen from one of the victims. It was taken out of their driveway. Officers went and, that Civic was eventually recovered by Fort Worth PD. There was someone sitting on that vehicle that officers spoke to, and that person said that they got the vehicle from Tavion and they had the key to that vehicle. They said he did not own the vehicle, but he is known to steal vehicles. The officers were able to get onto his Instagram after they got a warrant for the Instagram account. They did see videos of him in the stolen vehicle, and he was a passenger in that vehicle, and his companion was a driver in that vehicle.
And he's level 1-0 today?
Yes, Judge, but I'm not understanding that because I show that he was confined on the 23rd.
Is it possible to go from 3C to 1-0 in a period of 4 days?
Which shows that on May 23rd, he was confined, and then on the 24th, it shows he's a level 1 outstanding.
Okay. Is it possible for someone to go from level 3C to 1-0 in a matter of 4 calendar days?
Yes.
Okay. And are you Mr. Petty in the parents' room?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Adeniji, do you have any questions of Dad?
Judge, by the way, I'm not contesting the level 1 outstanding.
Okay.
So this will be maybe the 10th or 15th 10-day detention hearing. And it seems like we are back to square one every single time. Get to level 1 outstanding, we'll consider releasing you to go home. So I'm just going to ask the same thing. I'm hoping I won't get the same answer. If you let him go home, we let electronic monitoring. The dad has always assure the court that it will ensure it's in compliance. It won't go where it's not supposed to go, and it gave that assurance repeatedly. And I'm sure it's giving the same thing now. So that's what I'm going to urge on the court, respectfully.
And just for the record, those 3 previous hearings were not before me, correct?
Some of them were.
No, the last 3 were not, were they?
Oh, you said the last 3.
No.
I thought that may be correct, Judge. I'm not
The
going to.
last one before me was back on March 16th.
I would have loved to have got him released then. We weren't that lucky.
Mr. Boneberg, talk to me. Mr. Boneberg.
Sorry. Can you hear
What are
me?
your thoughts?
There
We
you
got just from the report, we got a one-man crime wave. I'm guessing you're not
Yes, sir.
inclined to agree with Mr. Adeniji, right?
I do respectfully disagree with Mr. Detention there. He's got a determinate sentence hearing on June 5th. It looks like I'm concerned for the safety of the community. The victim was shot in the abdomen. These new referrals, we have not received these yet, but unless, I guess, maybe they were just referred to us. We'd ask that he be detained.
Judge, can I ask for clarification? All this new stuff they're talking about, I'm not aware of them. I hope the court is not going to factor that in deciding this morning.
I also disagree with Mr. Detention on that ground.
All that information is as new to me as it is to the court.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge. Yeah, they have been referred. I do have them here. They're pending filing decision.
Okay. Well,
And by the way, Judge, we were scheduled for status hearing on the main case this morning at 8:30. But I think because of these new refers, and we're still negotiating to try to work things out in that case. So that's been reset for another status hearing.
oh, y'all were set before Judge Kim this morning?
That is correct, but we never got to, but everybody's getting this information about these new charges.
And so did y'all file a written motion for continuance in Judge Kim's court this morning?
Well, I think nobody
That's
filed.
a no.
No. But what I'm saying, I'm just letting the judge know about that.
Yeah. Okay.
That must be the reset I'm seeing on here, Lateef, June 5th.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you get the information before I do.
Yeah, the state gets that kind of stuff. It's not really fair, is it, Mr. Adeniji?
I'm not going to say that.
I'll say it.
Kevin is my friend. I'm not going to say anything about Kevin. I would have known it. If not for this thing going on, I would have been in the room. So.
Okay, he has been continuously level 1. Oh, wait, no. Ms. Guerrero, I'm looking at the detention logs on May 23rd. It shows he was level 1-0 outstanding, and then the notes say changed from level 3 confined to level 1-0 per JD. What's up with that?
I don't have the answer for that, Judge. I can only assume who JB is.
I may have the answer to that. Maybe there was an error and they corrected it.
But Ms. Guerrero, it was your information that what got him confined in the back?
Give me 1 minute, Judge.
Tavian, the court is not asking you that question. So let's keep our powder dry.
I was trying to.
Or Judge, they didn't give me, I don't have a report indicating why. And then when I look at his infractions, there's no note in there.
Does that sound fishy to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it does to me too. Somebody just trying to prevent my clients from getting released.
Well, actually, it looks completely the opposite. Is that somebody's trying to help your client get released?
I take it that way, Judge.
Okay.
I'm going on.
No. Okay, give me just a second.
This is Alicia. Yeah.
Dad, is your son a gang member?
Not that I had note of.
Judge,
Yes?
I have detention on the phone. They're telling me that it was an error that was written on Tavian's page, that it was supposed to be another kid in detention that should have gotten that. So that's why that's written up that way. So it was not Tavian.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
So, Dad, you don't know if your son is a member of the Bone Crushing Gorillas?
No, not at all. Since I've been going to court, they said they had proof of it, but I never saw it at all.
Judge, has been alleged.
Okay.
Nobody has shown us any proof.
Well, that's because we're not in a trial yet. Dad,
Yes,
Dad,
sir.
does your son have any tattoos?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Guerrero, does detention have any documented tattoos on this individual?
Give me 1 minute.
He's a clean guy, Judge.
No, Judge, there's nothing in the system, but it is mentioned in the new report that I received.
What is mentioned?
Bone crushing gorillas.
What?
Again.
Right. He's a documented gang member.
Okay, I have to explain. Thank you, Michelle, for coming. I really appreciate it. Have a great night. Um, I go through phases. Court has been a long phase of mine. It's not going anywhere. Don't worry. But one of my other phases is weather. I like weather content. And I also really like wildlife content. And lately I've been on gorillas and monkeys. So it is hilarious to me to hear him say the gorilla, what did they call it? The gorilla, oh God, bone crushing gorillas. I don't know who's in charge of naming gangs lately. They need to get better at it. Like, it's just not good. They're just not those. That's not scary. It's not even relevant to anything. Like, be better. If you're gonna be bad, be better at being bad, is what I would prefer. Anyways. And also, what is with Dad's response? Like, blah, blah, blah. Literally, I could not understand what he said. Lions and tigers and bears and bone crushing gorillas. Okay, let's finish this up a little bit quietly because I know some of y'all are going to sleep. It's wherever you are, it may be late. But I watch live deer too. Monica, yeah. I watch live deer. I also have a channel where I watch lots of wildlife being fed. Time served. Thank you so much, my man. You are a great, great help, and I'm just so thankful for all of your support. You have a great night. Kitch got served. I love that. All right, let's continue watching, guys.
Is the judge saying that it's still an allegation?
Well, everything at this point is an allegation, but I get to take the allegations in determining whether or not he might be a danger to the community if released, and gang membership is a factor that I need to consider.
It's just the way the court said it. And that's what got me. So.
Well, you know that every adjudication disposition hearing, I walk in with a completely blank slate, right?
All the time.
Sometimes I'm blanker than others. Is that what you're saying?
Judge, I'm going to take defeat.
No, I know. I seriously try not to prejudge any case.
Absolutely.
Because I've got to be fair to both sides.
Okay, what the hell is Joanne doing over here? Let's just watch that for a second, guys. Just keep an eye on it, because what the fuck is she doing?
Okay, I'm not going to take the referrals from yesterday into account. Mr. Baumberg, are you really going to be ready for a hearing next week?
It's my understanding that it was kind of a joint thing. Mr. Detention, you know the case is better than me. Andy, Miss Smith is handling this case, Judge. Did you get an indication that?
We're still working through it to get to some resolution. Hopefully, we will get to it by the 5th, but I can't say definitely. In view of this, depending on what's going to happen in all these new referrals, I think it's more likely that we do than less likely, Judge.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the new referrals are all lesser degrees, I think. Yes.
Correct. I mean, the real concern here is this drive-by.
Correct.
Alleged drive-by. He has been in custody for more than 4 months. He's been level 1-0 for a good time. So that's everything that's in your client's favor, Mr. Adeniji?
That is correct, Judge. I couldn't have said it better.
What's scary to me is the offense itself. Dad, and the fact that he is allegedly a documented Bone Crushing Gorillas member, which the court will take judicial notice is a violent street gang. And it also concerns me that Dad is unaware of his son's membership, alleged membership.
And if it's anything, Judge, he's also never had any adjudicated offense.
Dad?
Yes, sir.
If I were to release him today, what kind of assurance can you give me that he's not going to go out and associate with documented gang members?
I can give you 1,000%. He gonna be with me at all times. That's at the house or working on picking up a car from the auction and come back. If he can't leave the house, his mama be there. But he ain't gonna be around nobody.
And that would be in addition to electronic monitoring, Judge.
What about at night? I mean, y'all have to sleep some point, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this alleged drive-by occurred a little before 10 o'clock at night. So he was obviously out at 10 o'clock at night.
At that Pacific day, he was at his auntie house. He spent the night. I dropped him off at his auntie house for the weekend. That's the only reason he was out of my sight. And that was in Woodhaven. But we stay on North Turner now. Turner, right here off 35, a long way from over there.
Okay, January 12th was a Sunday night. So wouldn't normally on a Sunday night wouldn't he have been home at your house so he could go to school the next day?
But I got out work at 6 o'clock that next morning. But right now I work at a different job.
Okay, that didn't answer my question.
Yes,
my
sir.
question was, normally on a Sunday night, wouldn't he have been at home at your house so he could go to school the next day?
Yes, but I usually pick him up after I get out work. At the job I was working at, I get off at 6 in the morning. So I stop by there and pick him up. His school start at 8. So by the time we make it home, he get dressed and stuff and take a shower, get dressed. His bus usually come at 7:45. So that's the only reason. He didn't supposed to be out. He supposed to be in my sister's house. But yeah.
Where'd he get the gun?
Judge, if we're going to go into that, I'm sure the DA has more information about actually who the actual shooter was. He wasn't
Well,
the one.
but I wanted to ask the dad if he knew.
My son don't own no weapon.
Pardon?
He don't own no weapon. I never saw him with no weapon. I check his room all the time.
Do you have any weapons?
No, sir.
Any weapons at all in your house?
No, sir.
Judge.
Yeah, Mr. Boneberg, make your last best argument.
Yeah, I'm looking through the North Richland Hills report, and there are numerous photos here. And what I'm trying to do this is quick enough to be able to give the court an educated response. But there are pictures of individuals flashing gang signs. Then there are, and I'm not, without having read through these reports, there's quite a few attachments here that I'm not sure if this is an associate or if it's Mr. Petty, but there are individuals that he at least was associating with in the reports. If it's not him himself flashing these signs, as well as there are numerous social media accounts that the detective has put on here with individuals with guns. I think these new offenses are concerning enough, Judge, for us to, both sides need a moment here before we can say that in fact is not going on. Obviously,
Yeah. But the new offenses occurred before the current one.
That's true. That's true. Is the court privy to the victim detention report as well?
Yes, I've reviewed it.
Okay. I'm concerned about the victim as it's mentioned in that report as well. I think that this is...
Judge, which report are we talking about? The
Sorry?
report that I don't have?
This is in the aggravated assault. No, I believe you were sent that separately.
Okay. I thought you were talking about, okay.
Yeah. As I read it, it was a confrontation in the apartment complex, which led to the shooting, and then there were additional shots fired out of the car, from which a witness saw an individual by the name of Ivan and Tavion firing out the vehicle's windows. I think that...
Actually, those were the only shooting, the shooting out of the car when they were leaving.
Okay.
And
Ivan was the shooter, according to the police report?
No, according to the police report, he is, but from other reports that the DA has possession of, it's obvious he's not.
Okay. Let's all speak at once. Let's everybody speak at once so that I don't hear anything. Okay. My question was to Mr. Boneberg.
Okay. The only indication I have is from the detention report, in which it says that the group left and Alicia noticed Ivan and Tavion firing out of the vehicle's windows.
Okay.
Judge?
Okay, Mr. Adeniji.
Yes, Judge. I have discussed with Ms. Smith, the prosecutor on this case. We have both seen reports of other companions stating clearly who the shooter was, and that's not Tavion. I discussed that with Ms. Smith, and we both agreed on that. So what is reported in the offense report is incomplete.
All right. I'm going to split the baby here.
Take the better half.
Mr. Gladstone is listening because his client is next.
That's right. I have a companion, and I've really been hard pressed not to say anything, but that's not my hearing.
No. You walk away from this crazy. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. This is completely unfair. This case has not reached resolution by now. However, Mr. Petty, you have, given the seriousness of this offense, this really, really scares me. Your documented gang membership really, really scares me. It makes me believe that if I were to release you, that you would be a danger to the community. Your dad represents otherwise, because your dad has stood up for you, said that you would be on lockdown 24/7. You've kind of been up and down in detention in the back, okay? But you've been great for the last 6 days. Perfect 1-0. That deserves a reward. But I'm not going to give you the full reward today. Here's what we're going to do. You maintain level 1-0, not for the next 10 business days, for the next 10 calendar days. You maintain level 1-0 consistently, and I will allow Mr. Adeniji to approach me and ask that you be released. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So next 10 calendar days, you maintain level 1-0 consistently, and I'll let Mr. Boneberg, Mr. Adeniji duke it out, but I'm going to tell you right now, Mr. Boneberg is not going to be happy with my probable decision. Not that I'm prejudging it. but it's likely that Mr. Adeniji is going to be very happy. Okay? But for now, given how serious this is, I want you to prove to the court that you can maintain level 1-0 solid, okay? Can you do it?
Yes, sir.
I think you can. All right, that'll be the order of the court. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, I think that's all I have on your list. Can I be
Counsel,
excused?
as always, thank you for your skilled and able advocacy. You have a great rest of your day.
I appreciate that. I'm going to take that to the bank.
I apologize, everybody, for taking so long. All right, Mr. Gladstone.
Yes, sir.
Something tells me you're going to make the exact same arguments.
I've got a different set of facts, Judge, totally. I spent a lot of time on this thing with this COVID break. I've spent a lot of time in this case, had a lot of conversations with Andy, and there's an offer on the table for probation, but we're working on it. But if you'll give me a chance, I'd like to set the stage. This was not a drive-by. What all happened was my client and another group of boys was out at a mall, had a confrontation or a discussion with a bunch of girls, and the girls got the better of it somehow. They embarrassed, they dissed the boys. So basically, there was an exchange between the boys and the girls, and my client, a number of boys that were in this meeting, drove back to the apartment complex. The girls sent out this large kid, a large white kid, who started bad-mouthing all the boys in the car, and one of the boys by the name of Kinshay pulled out a gun and fired at the victim. That is what happened here by my estimation of the facts. It wasn't a drive-by. It was a confrontation between this one kid that came out for the girls and this one kid that pulled out a gun and fired. So it's a serious case of law of parties. I provided the DA a case on this. We've even done some legal research on it, whatever. So there's an argument, but right now there's an offer on the table that I'm working on. So it's a serious case of law of parties.
All right, Mr. Poe. Are you Mr. Poe?
Yes, sir.
All right, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. You also have the right to have this hearing recorded. If there is something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention and Mr. Gladstone's attention. I will create a private internet chat room for you and Mr. Gladstone to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, you heard Mr. Gladstone arguing on your behalf. So you understand the charge against you. It's an aggravated assault, right?
Yes, sir.
With a deadly weapon. You understand that charge, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. And Mr. Poe, you got to meet Judge Kim at one point, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did he talk to you about the levels in the back?
Yes, sir. He said, if you do right, he said stay at level 1.
He said stay at level 1 what?
A 1-0.
What are you?
I don't know. They ain't tell me this morning.
Okay. Well, then, Miss Rojas.
Yes.
What is Mr. Poe's level in the back?
He's on level 1A today.
Okay. Mr. Poe, does level 1A mean equal to level 1-0?
No, sir.
Okay. What does Judge Kim expect?
1-0.
What are you?
1A.
What do you think I'm going to do?
Time.
All right. That'll be the order of the court.
Judge, could I ask how much he's been on 1-0? My understanding is he's been on 1-0 the majority of the time. We're just weeks.
Let me pull it up, unless Ms. Rojas, you have that information at your fingertips.
Looking for it.
Trying to get there too. It's a race.
Mr. Poe had a real attitude when he came in, and it took him a while to get off of 2 and in the lower ones, but my understanding or impression was he's been on 1-0 for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He was on 1A at the last detention hearing, and then he went down to level 2, and then he's trying to get his level back up since the last detention hearing. So he's at 1A right now as of today.
Was he on 1-0 before?
He has gone up and down. I mean, he has different levels throughout the time that he's been here. He's been had several almost near confrontations with other peers.
All right, Ms. Rojas, I'm sorry to cut you off. Mr. Gladstone, the answer to your question is he was last level 1-0 on May 16th. And then before that, it was May 11th. And then before that, his previous 1-0 was April 28th. And he's vacillated all the way between 3C and 1-0.
Could we get a determination that if he stays on 1-0 that he could get out maybe in 5 or 10 days? I mean, the facts are less serious than the other kid because he doesn't have all his other referrals. He's just a situation where we need to set it for a hearing. And again, the DA has offered probation. So obviously the DA is not concerned about safety of the community.
Okay, well, the determination today is that I'm going to detain him. And so I will let you make that request of Judge Kim.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
I think that's all I have, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gladstone. Have a great day.
Oh, and the other issue was there may have been a status conference this morning, but notices wasn't, I can't find a notice that went out on this thing. I just got word yesterday that something was cooking, so I don't know if it fell through the cracks or not.
All right, I'll convey that to both the court coordinator and to Judge Kim so that nobody thinks bad of you. That's not your
No,
fault.
but that's fine. I mean, I was available, but no one called. Thanks, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gladstone. All right. Are you Mr. Rosas?
Are
you Mr. Rosas?
Yes, I mean, nothing at all. Only.
All right, please pull your chair closer to the computer. And I need you to answer out loud for me, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name's Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should be released from detention or to a parent or guardian or ordered to remain in detention. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. You also have the right to have this hearing recorded. If you want either of those things, your attorney, Ms. Barrows, will let me know. Do you see Ms. Barrows on the screen?
Yes.
All right. If there's something you want to say, please do not just shout it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention or Ms. Barrows' attention. I will create a private internet chat room for the two of y'all to talk about what you want to say. That way, Ms. Barrows can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Barrows is your attorney. All right, Ms. Blair, what brings Mr. Rosas to court today?
Your Honor, he's 15-year-old who was charged with assault caused bodily injury.
Hold on. He just said Miss Barrows is his attorney who is driving. Like, okay. It's one thing to be a participant, almost freaking like trying to get somewhere and driving, but you're the freaking attorney. West Coast time is 3 hours off. I'm on the West Coast. I was like, I even changed my clock today because I knew y'all would roast me for having my clock still on daylight savings time. So I actually got up and changed it before I came on live. But it's only 8:30. I can never math. Let's just be honest. But okay, how long is it going to take for frickin' that was, oh my, no. That was Joanne that was driving. This is now Leslie Barrows. I don't like, it's like your doctor driving while they're giving you a phone appointment. It's like, no, we need more than that. Anyways, let's see what else is on here.
Family member by Fort Worth PD. On May the 26th, around 1942 hours, officers were dispatched to a domestic disturbance call. Esmeralda, who's the victim, advised that her son Nathan had been missing since Saturday. Mother got a tip where he was and went to the apartment. A friend's father told her that Nathan wasn't there, but she didn't believe him, so she called the police. While waiting, Nathan came up to her, pushing her and then hitting her on the arm after refusing to get in the car with her. Officers attempted to make contact with Nathan when the officers first arrived, but Nathan refused to comply with the commands. He was finally apprehended and transported to the Juvenile Detention Center. The mother was informed of her options for DNP and mediation. Mother said she did not wish to pick from either options due to youth having tons of issues. He has no prior history, and that is it.
Okay. And is the mom Ms. Gonzalez?
She's on here somewhere.
Oh, there she is. Okay. Ms. Gonzalez, if you could, there we go. Talk to me. What's going on? Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Let's see. Still no sound. Oh. Let's wait and see if she comes back. Wait, there. All right, while we're waiting on Mom, Miss Barris, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, if he has had no prior referrals, I would ask that he be released to his mom or another guardian, maybe another family member, so he can be out of detention.
Do we know if another? Okay, here she comes. Hold on. All right, can you hear us okay? All right. Are you Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Okay. What's going on? Do you want him to come home today?
No.
Is there a different parent or guardian who might want him to come home today?
Well, he's been placed with me because he had CPS with his dad, and so he came to live with me about 2 months ago. But his behavior and him running away and not coming home, blocking me and all of that, hanging out with the wrong crowd.
All right, Ms. Barros, do you want to ask Ms. Gonzalez some questions? Ms. Barros?
CPS investigation.
We only got the last 2 words of your question, Ms. Barros.
Okay, is there an active CPS investigation? Case has been closed about a month ago, and I provided that information to the assigned officer. Okay, is there any other family member in Tarrant County that your son could go live with? You can ask him. I tried to bring him home yesterday and he didn't want to. Instead, he wanted to fight me and not get in the car and push me, so. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Rosas, do you need to talk to your attorney privately? Okay. I'm going to create a private internet chat room for the 2 of y'all to talk quickly. It needs to be quickly, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to need a private internet chat room theme song.
Okay, Mr. Rosas, go down to the bottom of your screen with your cursor. You should see a pop-up menu that shows you either breakout room or more. There he goes.
She's not, no. she's probably going to be like, dude, I'm driving. What do you need? You also have to remember this was the height of the pandemic. This is May of 2020. Everybody was in lockdown.
Okay. Your Honor, I've spoken with my client, and he has an aunt, Veronica, that is a maternal aunt that he can go live with and go stay with temporarily till we get this resolved.
Okay, Ms. Gonzalez, how do you feel about Mr. Rosas going to live with the aunt?
I'm okay with that, I guess.
All right.
But I don't know her number. Nothing. I don't know her number. My mom has everything.
We can figure that out.
Okay. Mr. Rosas?
Yes, sir.
It is not acceptable to hit your family members in any shape, form, or fashion. Okay? When that happens, you come to Kimbo. All right. Is Kimbo fun?
None.
Do they have games and stuff?
I mean, we only get to play basketball and we get to watch a movie. That's it.
That's pretty boring, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't really
Which
like
is more fun, being in Kimbo or being at home?
being at home.
Okay. Whether or not you get to remain at home with your aunt is entirely up to you. I'm going to order that you be released today, but it will be on an electronic monitor. You are not allowed to leave your house except for school or church or religious activities.
I'm not in school. I still haven't gotten enrolled. That's the thing.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. But you're not going to get to go out of your house anyway, except for if you were to go to summer school or you're headed to a religious activity, okay? And all of that has to be pre-cleared with your probation officer. You got that?
Yes, sir.
So let's say a friend calls you up and says, let's go to the movies tomorrow night. Do you get to go?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm on my monitor.
You got it.
No.
Okay. What happens if you sneak out and go to the movie anyway?
It'll go off.
Exactly. And then what happens?
The police come.
And then where do the police bring you?
Kimbo.
Is Kimbo fun?
Yeah.
Is going to the movies worth coming back to Kimbo?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're in agreement.
Yes, sir.
You need to remain in constant contact with your attorney, okay?
Who's my attorney is Miss Burrow, sir.
Okay. You're to remain in constant contact with her. If something comes up, if she tells you you got to come to a court hearing, you have to come. No excuses.
Yes, sir.
If you run away again, you're just going to wind up back in Kimbo and it makes things worse for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's going to be the order of the court. Thank you. Let's cross that bridge when we come to it. I don't want to give JPD two things. Because if I do that, Are you Mr. Wright?
Yes, sir.
All right, pull your chair closer to the computer for me. Mr. Wright, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to an attorney. Mr. Berger is your attorney. Do you see Mr. Berger on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You also have the right to remain silent. If there's something you want to say, please do not just shout it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. I'll create a private internet chat room for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Cruz, what brings Mr. Wright back to court? Hold on, Ms. Cruz. Hold on. Let's get you unmuted, Ms. Cruz. Ms. Cruz, there we go. All right. What brings Mr. Wright back to court?
This is his 10-day detention hearing, Your Honor. He was referred in on May the 11th for a directive to apprehend as well as a failure to ID. According to the report, the officers received a disturbance call, and when they got to the store where he was, they were asking him his name, and he gave a different name, but the same date of birth, and that's where the failure to ID came from. And we already had a directive to apprehend on him.
Does he have a parent or guardian here today?
Yes.
Okay.
He's there.
Okay. Let's see. Are you Ms. Jackson?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
Oh, yes.
All right.
How you doing today, Judge Porter?
Oh, better than I deserve. Miss Jackson, tell me what's going on.
Jamal had, we had just started the LPP program that was offered. And before, when they was trying to start it, I had just buried my son. Mm-hmm. So it got pushed back a little because at the time they tried to start it, I was making arrangements and everything. So we had just got it started, say about a month ago. And it's not that Jamal, like I said, he hadn't seen his brother in 7 months because Jamal was like really in juvenile. So, when he came home, his brother got killed like 11 days after Jamal got out. And he just was grieving. But I had already spoke with Miss Cruz, and, we just was getting the program started, as just really getting to know her and Miss Dana. I probably met them twice as we started the program. And he had got up and he had left. And I called Miss Dana and Miss Cruz, and I had let them know, and they had asked me did I have a phone number, gave them a phone number, which they did speak with to Jamal, and told him that they ordered him to come back home the next day or she would issue the DTA, and he didn't come home. So I had already did a runaway report like Miss Cruz had told me to. And the DTA, which he would call and talk to his father, and his father just telling him, you have to come home if you want the help for grieving. I understand we just started the program. You can't just, where I'm coming from as Jamal grieving, but I can't give him the help he needs because we all grieving this way. So he ran away, and I spoke with Miss Cruz, and then she issued the DTA.
Do you want Jamal to come home today?
Yes, but only on the electric device. I have already spoke with Miss Cruz and Miss Thomas, the one his MHMR therapist. So she willing to accept to come out to my house so we can do more of the one-on-one with Jamal. It's the only way he would come home. Other than that, he had to come home on a monitor. He had a monitor before, and he did good on it.
Mr. Bumberg, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, we'll defer to the court on this.
All right. Jamal, let's see. You talked with Judge Terry 2 weeks ago, and what did she tell you?
Get to level 1 and maintain it.
And what'd you do?
I got to level 1 and maintained it.
You did. So guess what I'm going to do? What do you think I ought to do?
Release me.
You're correct. You kept up your end of the bargain. You proved to the court that you know how to behave. I want you to go home, be with your mom. I'm going to release you on the electronic monitor. It's important that you get a chance to grieve with your family, but that's something that y'all just need to sit around the kitchen table and talk about how much you love your brother, okay?
Yes.
All right, will that work?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want you to keep in constant contact with Mr. Berger. Okay.
Who's Mr. Berger?
Okay. Do you see he's got the blue shirt? He's your attorney?
He ain't on my screen.
Yeah, he is. Keep looking. He's got that bright blue shirt.
The one with the glasses?
You got it.
Your mom last week, you remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want you to keep in constant contact with him, but you have to stay home, okay?
Yes, sir.
You can't leave. You're on electronic monitor. If you cut that monitor off, you know what happens, right?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Get DPA.
And then where do you end up?
Back here.
You want to be back there?
No, sir.
So what do you got to do to make sure you're not back there?
Pay off and do and handle business and do what I need to do.
You're right. All right. That's going to be the order of court. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Judge.
All right. Pursuant to section 54.08 of the Texas Family Code, the court will be closing the remainder of these hearings to the public because the involved kids are under 14. I will ask everyone who is not directly connected with any of the remaining.
Just court starting constantly on my screen. So they shut the hearing down. Let me just get rid of that. So about the chirpster, I like the name for that, the smoke detector. I found it very, very interesting because they basically, I've worked in businesses and Zoom lots, and it's not the type of thing that you hear very often on Zoom when you're in a business setting, but it's just literally linked to a lower socioeconomic status, so people that are poor, and the fact that those people are overrepresented in the justice system already. And so when we watch court, we see a lot more of those people that are already at a risk of not changing their smoke detector battery. And that's why the risk of fire is actually higher when you're poor. That's one of the reasons. So I honestly was thinking to myself about how it would be really smart for the judicial system to coordinate with their public health or even fire departments, and because they'll give out smoke detector batteries. Like, the fire department has programs for this, and really what they need to do is figure out a way to do it. So what I would do if I was in charge of a court is, the second I heard that, I would either have a beginning, like at the beginning of court, I would say, like, ladies and gentlemen, please note we are doing a drive with our local fire department, and you can get smoke detector batteries, for free at this location, or come to the courthouse and get them. And then, or you could even address it if you heard it right there. But, it's scary to think that it could save somebody's life, but it could. Like, smoke detector, it drives me insane too. You guys were all there. Well, we hear it so much because we watch court all the time. But like, what case was it? It was a Manning case. It was one of the long TPOs, and it was so persistent that I got up and I searched my house. I was positive it was in my home and that it was like there. And the whole chat was talking about it as well. But I remember being like, swear to God, this is in my house, and it wasn't in the end. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for spending this lovely evening with me. This has been a long stream, but I've really enjoyed it, and I am definitely going to be doing more soon. I'm going to figure out a way to put some recipe requests so you can see what I'm making, and also more court to come. You guys are the best, seriously. I have had the best evening, and I so appreciate each and every one of you for being here, staying up late with me, encouraging me to eat, and just being encouraging altogether. I love you all. I'm so excited to bring you more court in my kitchen, and I can't wait to have you